Wait, I'm actually live on both platforms? Let's go. I'm actually live on both platforms. Nice. Everything worked out. Cool. Yeah, I should be live. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. If you're watching the VOD, you're probably thinking, what the hell's going on? No worries. No worries. Just everything's normal. Gonna start the intro now. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool though. Hurry up and start the stream. It's working, no? What do you mean? Hey, say one in the chat if you hear me right now on YouTube. What's up? What's up? Okay. I'm actually dual streaming, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy. Actually made that shit work. Great. All right, listen. Let's just start the intro as we always do. Wait, what's my category on Twitch? I'm just chatting, right? All right, cool. 4 minutes and we start the stream, baby. Let's go. Yeah. All right, baby. Woo! Let's do this. Short stream. Short. I think it'll be short. It'll, I don't know. I think it'll be at least like 2 hours. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch? We're dual streaming. Yes, for the first time ever. For the first time ever. All right. For the first time ever, dude. Actually made that shit work. What's up? What is up? Okay. Whoa, hype train on Twitch. Thank you, guys. It's 30 Celsius right now. I'm dying. I'm legitimately dying. Yo, what am I doing here? Yo. Yo, what's up, dude? Man, it is so fucking hot right now. Oh shit, thank you. I mean, honestly, cheered X100. Thank you. Okay. Well, listen. 30 is sad, bro. It's so hot, man. When the apartment you're living in is made to counter cold, it's yeah, it's rough. After reading the title, I can't wait for the weird spinoff. How YouTubers weird compares him summon NASCAR into his comment section platonically, of course. About that. So listen, NASCAR finally replied. Right? Finally replied, and we're gonna figure something out. Nothing is final yet. Listen. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Okay, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But they did indicate that they would totally be down to fly me out to a NASCAR event. Okay, is that crazy? Just the fact that they said that is pretty fucking cool, even if it doesn't work out. But yeah. Sent them some, they were like, listen, we want to work with you, but we don't want to impose our ideas. So give us ideas, what would you comfortable doing with us? And I was like, all right, well, shit, man. I wrote a whole ass list of ideas we can do. And I also linked them a really cool art piece that was made by Pixie in the chat, as you can see right now. Pixie's in the chat right now. Where was it? Is it here? Is it there? Yeah, this one. Wait, I'm gonna disappear for a second, but you'll understand why. Wait, if I do this, can you? No, you can't. No, you can't do that. Let me see. And there we go. How cool is this, bro? I sent them this. I showed them this. Yes. Now I don't know why Pixie added Lube Life on my thing. I don't know why. They're not a sponsor of any kind. I don't know what that is.
Sterlis cheered X100, Mujin with all the sponsors and partnerships. Could this be foreshadowing to some goodies for us Goojins?
How many of you guys here would unironically buy a $30 plushie of Jinrex? How many of you, unironically, of this little guy? How many of you? Because if we do a partnership, we gotta sell. We gotta sell 200.
X100.
We gotta sell 200 for that shit to get made. I could contact Makeship again and see if we can do that. So if there's enough demand.
Delicud cheered X100. Down left arrow emoji. Down left arrow emoji.
God,
down left arrow emoji.
No, not again.
Ha, just kidding. You probably wonder why I could gift so many subs last stream. I got a rare condition called a JB, but I still have to put down the subs cause I spend over €400 last stream and I ain't have this much.
It's okay, Dodika.
But still I try to make a funny bit messages every start of the stream like this one.
Thank you for that bits. Thank you. Can YouTube hear the TTS coming from Twitch? I don't even know. Bro, okay, first off, Mega K-Bang with a 10. After reading the title, I can't... Yeah, we already saw that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing up NASCAR. I was going to bring it up anyway. So yeah, might do a collab with them. If they actually do fly me out, I'll probably vlog it. I probably... Wait, I didn't track my face correctly. One sec. There we go. Yeah, I do this for a living. So yeah, if they do that, okay, cool. I'm glad you guys can hear the cancer CTS. I'm not the only one. Yeah, I'll probably vlog if I'm actually flown out. I'm not gonna show my face or anything, but I'll take you guys with me if I do go. Yeah, yeah. So that would be pretty cool. And about the merch, yeah, I'll look into it. I'm definitely interested in making like more than just a plushie, like actual merch straight up. Figuring that out slowly. So yeah, maybe within the next 12 months or something. Dodica, thanks for the 5 gifted, bro. John Enriquez with the 100 Swiss francs. John, thank you, dude. Thank you. John, I mean, you're here every single stream. You always drop way too much money. Thank you. You really don't have to. Here, get something to drink. What would I use 100 francs on to drink, man? What? You want me to buy some 100-year aged whiskey? God damn, man. But thank you. Yeah, I have water next to me. Guys, it's hot as fuck. I'm sweating already. Twitch his main bay now? No. No such thing, bro. No, I love you both equally. I'm pretty sure we can see both of you here. Here on my right. We can see both of you here. So I love you both just as much and platonically. All right? Okay. How much is a Swiss franc in freedom units? I think it's like $2 or something. It's isn't it stronger than the euro at this point or close? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yo, you guys on Twitch are going crazy, bro. Shit, man. Fucking Cat Lover, thanks for the prime. Amazonite, thanks for the prime. Reach, wow, 3 stream streak. Wow, Kate. Wow, amazing. 3 stream streak. I've only streamed 2 times in the last month. What the fuck? Dodica again, thanks for the 5. Look at me, mommy. Thanks again. Anonymous gifter, thank you. All right. So today we're going to get into some cancerous, and I mean really cancerous, like tumor type drama. Have you seen the Riot Vanguard drama? I have. The only funny thing about that is the guy complaining about how he had used the software that they banned to code like a $100,000 girlfriend AI that he has to get rid of now. I don't even know if that was real or not, but that was really funny. But no, we're gonna be looking into something else. We're gonna be looking into something else, dude. So I saw this on my feed. It's gonna be 2 topics mostly, but they're kind of somewhat related. They just happen at the same time. Hi from Canada. What's up, dude? What's up? I've had Canadian maple syrup. It's really good. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. Yo, Mujid Kuglis just suggested making your necklace into merch. My necklace. Yeah. I mean, it would be pretty sick, right? It would be pretty sick. It's really about being able to understand demand, because merch these days isn't, you don't just make like 500 units and you're like, I hope I sell them, right? It's more about like how many people I can be sure are going to buy it, which is why most things you buy in terms of merch are pre-orders, because that way you pay, you make a deposit, and so then the supplier knows, oh, okay, so 203 people bought this. I need to just make 203. I don't need to make more. So it would have to be something like this. I'll try to listen while I sleep. Hey, I hope you sleep, John. I don't scream around here. This is a very calm stream. This is a very, very calm stream. Yo, thank you guys for the watch streaks. I don't know how it says 3 streams. I've only streamed once on Twitch in a month, but yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get into it now. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about other than the NASCAR stuff. Very exciting. We'll see what happens. Yeah, set them a list of different things we can do. I think it would be fun. Yeah. I'm definitely like very into it, because finding a high quality sponsor is not easy, especially one that's as excited to work with you. So yeah, we'll see. Of course, all thanks to you guys. Of course, all right. Dude, last stream was fun. Last stream, if you guys weren't there, I streamed only on Twitch. I'm going to upload it to my VOD channel. But I streamed only on Twitch, and we played this very weird-ass scary game and a bunch of other things. So that was fun. Now we're dual streaming. We're over here. Let's get right into it, dude. Let's get right into it. So what the hell happened? Let me see. Let me go to the bottom right. Yeah, without breaking anything. Oh, hello. Let me switch the scenes real quick. Sorry for breaking your immersion, dude. Sorry for breaking your immersion. There we go. And here we go. Where am I? The fuck? Oh. Hi. Finally caught a stream. What's up, baby? What's up? Twitch won't load. That's why you have YouTube as well. Yeah. I'm watching on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Timing's effed, but I love it. Which one is quicker? I think YouTube is quicker because I'm on ultra low latency on YouTube. What's up, Uka? Why do you have so many tabs? Because this is going to be a very short stream, bro. It's going to be a very, very short stream. Yeah. I came to Twitch because YouTube fucked out. Listen, bro, it's whatever you prefer, you know? Twitch or YouTube, you can choose whichever one you prefer. That's the whole point. When I dual stream, I'm giving you guys more choices. Kuriv, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Thank you. Gonna try listening to the stream while walking the dog. Awesome. Say hello. Say hello to your dog. We are at level 5 hype train on Twitch. That's crazy. It really feels like I'm streaming to do 2 different rooms, you know, where it's just there's a different atmosphere in both. It's pretty funny. I can see why some streamers, like when they stream like on multiple platforms, there's like this rivalry that builds up between platforms. But yeah, we all platonically love each other over here. Mujid, how are you? Doing good. Other than the weather. God damn, man. God damn. Wait, let me see. Paris weather. Bro, it's 26 and it's 10:30 p.m. Look at this. The next week, full-on heat wave. Full-on heat wave. This is like we're in the middle of July or something. Apparently, there's like this heat wave coming from North Africa to Western Europe. That's why. So if any of you guys are in North Africa, I can probably smell your farts platonically. All right. So what happened? What happened, right? What do you mean? Wait. 26 degrees. Listen, guys, I've seen people make fun of British people when it's like 26 and they're dying and shit. Bro, they live in houses that are insulated for the winter, okay? It is made to trap heat. That way you don't die from hypothermia, all right? So that way, right now, in my apartment, which is old, all right? It's fucking old. Yeah, I feel like I'm in an oven. I'm practically almost sweating right now. Federux with the 50 gifted on YouTube. Dude, are you guys battling it out right now? Federux, thank you. My God. Dude, God, man. We have John Enriquez and Federux. Almost every single stream, they're over here dumping an unhealthy amount of money. Thank you, guys. Thank you. But chill, bro. Chill, please. You really don't have to. Just you being here means a lot. Guys, enjoy the gifted. I hope you don't dodge it. I hope you enjoy the gifted. I'll be posting YouTube members only Q&A. I do that monthly. I do that every month. Tomorrow, I'll be like, hey guys, ask me any question, and I typically reply with voice memos. Typically, I typically do. Someone from Florida said he feels like his lungs are being licked by fire in England, and I have to agree. That's crazy. If someone from Florida is saying that, that means a lot, I think. Yeah. It's very different when your house is made out of wood versus bricks. It's very, very different. Now, I do have a portable AC unit, but to set that shit up with the window, it takes a while. And typically, I only do that if I know I'll be using the AC for more than just, a few days. So I'm just going to suffer for the next couple of days. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just suffer for a bit. I'll just treat it like a free sauna. But when it actually gets hot consistently for like the next 30 days, that's when I will take it out. That's when my neighbors will take it out too, because I can see them from outside my window and they all just take that tube out, dump it outside their window, and they're like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's funny because French people, if you guys don't know, in the French educational system, like it's like they really push the idea of global warming more than almost any other countries. Some European countries do that, France included. And so you have French people that grow up and they're like, I really want to travel, but I can't. And you're like, why? Are you broke? And they're like, no, I just can't take the plane. It's too bad for the environment. It's like, really? Really? Like, what about the billionaire that just took it 4 times today? Are you okay? So I remember seeing this one Reddit post once of this French guy. It was like on the France subreddit. And he was like, guys, I feel so much guilt, but I had to. It was way too hot and I bought an air conditioning unit. God, I just had to. I'm sorry. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. But at a certain point, you're not really the problem here. You're not really the issue. You're not really the problem, man. I'm pretty sure private jets and yachts account for way more, harm to the climate than any consumer plane or whatever, right? France Loki goated for taking global warming seriously. Oh, they take it very seriously. Very seriously. God, it's practically mentioned every single school year. It's mentioned during your bachelor's. It was constantly mentioned during my master's. We practically, I practically have a degree in global warming at this point. Kit, Scylla, thanks so much for the 10 liras. You really don't have to, man. Listen, bro, you really don't have to, bro. God, man, the Turkish lira is in the dumps, man. I hope it can recover. Trulio, thanks for the prime. All right, let's get into this. Platonically, when do we get to see Sweaty Mujin for research purposes? Of course, I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. You might want to message Wayo about that because she's the only one that can really help you with that, dude. I don't have a sweat toggle on this model. All right. So this all started. Listen, this all started. Okay. Well, not really with this post, but many people found out about it through this post. So it starts, it's of course anime trends, it's in Spanish. Streamer mocks Clanad. I really don't know how to spell this. I don't, listen, bro. You've watched my videos before, you know I suck at spelling. A content creator unleashed the wrath of the internet's old guard after posting a video mocking the classic art style of Clanad, and labeling the overall aesthetic uncomfortable. Okay? Missing out on one of fiction's most devastating works just because you can't stomach some big eyes is the ultimate filter for this industry. Now, this post made this seem like she just didn't like this. And it was like, this art style's goofy, I'm moving on. It's not the most unreasonable take, all right? If you've started watching anime with modern anime, if you're someone who's like more at the end of the Gen Z cycle, yeah, you see this, you probably think to yourself, what is this, a fucking bug? Like, that's what you probably think. Sure. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Problem is, this post was leaving out a lot of context. And so they got community noted. In addition to mocking the style, the streamer said that watching Clanad made her feel like a pedophile. Even reading that shit makes me fucking laugh my ass off, bro. Yeah, so some people were calling out this post saying, yo, man, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, obviously this wasn't just her saying it's uncomfortable. Like, this is actually them saying it made them feel like So this is the clip right here. Watch it for yourself. Okay, this is on her YouTube channel. All right. It's muted. One sec.
So I tried watching Clanad. So ass, bro. I tried, man. It sucked. Extremely common bad take from me. What, Clanad? Bro, the animation made her look like a ant. God, I felt like such a pedophile watching this. Does she not look like this? I just like, why do they make the character look like that, bro? Bro, and I was like, look at his hair. Why is his hair like that? They look so ugly. So
it was so out of place, bro. Like, listen, I get it. You don't like it. You find the art style weird. That's fair. But what the fuck was that sentence? Like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was that? So you could say, yo, they look like ants, whatever, dude. Go ahead. Insult the art style all you want. Say it's not for you, whatever. But this made me feel like, really? That's crazy. It was very random. And it comes off as malicious too. Because look, this whole thing, we'll get to it, right? We'll get to this whole thing. But this anime is very well respected, especially in Japan. And there's literally this isn't even an anime that's like, pushing this whole lolly debate, which I would stay away from like 3 million miles away, right? But it's not even that. Like, none of these fucking characters ever exhibit anything weird. They're just like, the whole premise of this show is that they're in high school. That's it. There's nothing weird. So I don't know. Definitely interesting. We'll get to that. We'll get to like why the anime is so important. But the point is, this was the clip. Now you can't see, right? So you can't see. Let me just disappear for a sec. Let me zoom in. Yeah, so wow, that's actually a really handy zoom. So as you can see, like, the dislike ratio, 10% likes, 90% dislikes. So, and the comments, never let her cook and talk again. This is the same person that will make fun of you for watching anime 10 years ago. And yeah, she pretty much summoned the whole fandom, right? It's not just the fandom that she summoned, though. She pretty much summoned anyone who, I don't know, watches anime to a certain extent. All right, let me come back. Here we go. Uh, yeah, you know, you can just bring back not morally justifying disliking something and just dislike the thing and leave. True. So this, as far as I'm aware, this clip didn't go viral on YouTube. The reason why this clip went viral is because this person right here decided to post it on Twitter and said, she's right, by the way. Now, you know, again, you know, we'd have to go through this. 2.8 million views, and the majority are replies and quote tweets, right? People are just, you know, they really felt like that sentence was very out of place. Very out of place. And exaggerated too. And malicious somewhat. You know, again, this sentence changed everything, right? It's like that whole video with what she call it? Peach XO, right? When that girl who played Arc Raiders and called the police, right? Initially she was in the right. She was being trolled. Guy was being an ass. Yeah, you know, it sucks. But everything fucking changed when she, you know, reached out to the community manager who was her friend and used that power to ban them. Or when she reached out to the police. It takes like one little action. So in this case, you know, saying it sucks, whatever. I'm sure she would have still gotten shit for it, by the way. Her saying that they look like ants. Again, this is a very well-respected anime, but that whole pedophile comment, yeah, definitely very, very interesting, right? And this is actually something, I'm not sure you guys are very familiar with the anime or the studio behind it as well. And so this tweet points that out and says, keep in mind too that some of the animators who worked on Clannad were murdered by arson in 2019. The legacy of this show, as well as many other Kyoto Animation works, is so important to those left for the exact reason. Imagine seeing your deceased coworker's art get called pedo bait by some stupid Westerner when the show literally has zero ecchi content in it whatsoever. Absolute insanity. Everett with the 5, bro. We're at a time where people can't even handle breathing next to kids and teens without freaking out and thinking it makes them a PDF. What the fuck? Well, yeah, bro. I can't really argue with that. Yeah, I mean, people make everything weird these days, right? And at the same time, like, if you were to, you know, place yourselves in their shoes, you grew up with these conspiracy theories, and you're like, oh, you know, it's exaggerated, whatever. And then the Epstein files land February of this year, right? So all of a sudden, everyone has to confront the fact that the people in power over them are most likely those kinds of people, right? So yeah, you know, it's just unfortunate. It's just, the whole thing's unfortunate, right? It's we've lost this sense of innocence or whatever, and now everything. The problem with conspiracies is that when enough of them get proven right, they all become right, regardless of whether there's proof or not, right? So the fact that many conspiracies have been somewhat justified in the last 12 months or so, yeah, it just makes everything else sound like, you know, you're like, oh, this guy said that Epstein was this, but at the same time they were saying that aliens are this too. They must be right about that too, right? You know? So yeah. In any case, this is a very well-respected anime. It has, you know, an 8 score on my anime list, as if that means anything. You heard it here first. The people in power are aware of Clannad. Ripped for all the flat earthers when every theory was right except theirs. Thanks, Queen Squidly. Yeah, the thing with flat earthers is, no, I think at the end of the day, no matter what happens, flat earthers will always be the easiest target to make fun of. Come on, you know, it is. We literally have 4K video of space. At this point, man, you know, if the earth was flat, I think someone would have fallen off at the edge. Many people died and sacrificed themselves to prove that the earth was actually, well, the fact that it even spins, right? The fact that the universe doesn't spin around it. So, right, you know, the fact that it spins, I mean, what? A flat earth's gonna spin. How the fuck does the sun come up in certain places and not the other places? You know, like, what's the explanation? I don't know, bro. Are they gonna say there's a massive mountain in the middle of the flat earth that stops the sun from reaching certain places? Like, I don't even know, man. It's just, honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like it's just a part of them wanting to be a part of a community, right? Like, they just want to be a part of a community. They just want to be like, hey, I don't want to be lonely anymore. I don't really have hobbies. And these guys, they seem cool. Let's just all talk about flat earth or something. I don't know. And that's without mentioning the people who profit at the top of the flat Earth movement. So yeah, very highly rated. This is a classic. Came out in 2007, 2008, back when anime wasn't cool. All right, anime is very much like Pokemon. Okay, when I liked Pokemon as a kid, I never played the game. I just liked the cards. Okay, I was a collector ever since I was a kid. It was seen as nerdy, cringe, whatever. Video games as well, same thing. And anime was also the same thing. I wasn't really a consumer of anime. I came to anime really late, but same thing, right? And I remember very well when I was near the end of high school how Pokemon Go came out, right? And now all of a sudden everyone likes Pokemon. That was, even then I thought it was cringe, right? I remember making a fucking status on Facebook saying, "Oh, so now you think Pokemon's cool, huh?" Fucking Facebook. And so anime is kind of the same thing now, where it's got so mainstream that the people who found it cringe, the same people who would have found this cringe back in 2007 are now watching Demon Slayer and calling it absolute cinema. You're platonically live? Hell yeah, Evan. Hell yeah, you bet your ass I'm live. Thanks for the 10. So, it became Facebook holy unk. If you're subscribed to my Stacked page, I just uploaded a video yesterday that's 40 minutes long of me just yapping. It's not edited. Of my favorite YouTubers growing up. And I actually talk about how I my journey with the internet. And it actually all started on Facebook. I saw my mom playing a game there. I was like, please make me an account. I want to play this game. And she put my birth date as at 1980 or some shit. I was like 8. Plain Talk is dead. But question, I went to France at a group as a teen. Mexican, by the way. Can you just not break into trains? My shitty teacher snuck us all empty seats, including first class, LMAO. You can technically sneak on a train, but it matters where it's going and it matters what kind of train it is, right? Like certain trains will have people who will check for your ticket and others won't, right? So if you get on the TGV, that's like more of the high-speed train that goes to other countries and whatnot, you're going to get checked. It'll happen. If you get on a Eurostar, which typically, is known for London to Paris, same thing. But if you get on a regional train, one that goes from one little city to the next, or like from Paris to some city that's not too far off, probably not. No one's going to check. Why the thumbnail person low-key looks like Chris Tyson? That's crazy, bro. Listen, man. No, listen. We talk about people's actions on this channel. We don't talk about their looks, okay? All right? Unless they talk about looks first. So I'm going to have you retract that statement, bro. Okay? Listen, that is a crazy ass comparison, bro. So yeah, Muji training us to commit crimes. No. I'm just saying. Unless it's Tech Tiger. Okay, man, listen. I think everyone agrees. If someone is into children and is caught, I think, there's no limit to what you can do when it comes to making fun of them. Come on. Yeah, so this is a very highly respected anime. And at the time, the people who actually watched this were some of the first anime fans, especially in the West. Some of the first anime fans, the ones that got made fun of for watching it, right? And so what does Japan think about it? Well, Japan, at some point, there was a top 100 anime poll that was done back in 2024. And it was ranked 17th as best anime, well, ever, I guess, for Japanese people. That says a lot, I think. Even in 2024, there was a lot of shit that came out that was really, really good. So that's just how much Japanese people respect this anime and have a special spot for it in their hearts. Thanks for the hours of second monitor content. Are you platonically friends yet? No, dude. No, I'm waiting for the most important step. I'm waiting for the interview. It could take a few months. Dude. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Don't worry. No, you'll be the first to know what happens after I pass my interview. What kind of questions they ask me. I'm definitely going to tell you what kind of questions they ask me. Like, can you sing the national anthem? What is the main statement of the French Republic? Shit like that. I'll let you know. Name me 7 rivers. I don't even think there's 7 rivers in France, actually. Name me 3 rivers. Yes. Hi, Mujin. Wanted to be a favor and stream for 10 hours tomorrow to keep me entertained at work. 10 hours? 10 hours? What is there even a stream for 10 hours? What the hell? Maybe like a tier list of every single YouTube channel in existence. Maybe. What Stream Deck updated available? I don't care. Yeah, 10 hours is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. But thanks. All right, so and so this art style that was being spoken about, that they look like ants. They look at like ants. This art style was actually conceived by a legendary illustrator in Japan, and their name is Itaru Hinoue, right? And it's a pseudonym. It's a pseudonym. I don't even know if we know the real name of who that is, but I'm pretty sure also it's a she, right? It's a she that uses a pseudonym, and so just so you understand, right? This person had come up with art styles with this main art style, and you can see this in multiple animes like Canon, 1999, Air, 2000, Clannad, right? But here's what I want to tell you, right? At some point, shortly before the release of Clannad, 2 autographed illustrations by Hinoue were put onto the Japanese Yahoo auction website in April 2004. Yes, Yahoo is still a thing in Japan. For some reason, it's very popular. And the eBay of Japan is Yahoo. I know. If this is the first time you're hearing about this, it's probably confusing as hell. But yes, Yahoo is the eBay of Japan, even to this day, right? Even to this day, they still use Yahoo all the time. Japan is somewhat interesting. They're high tech, but at the same time, it's very hard to separate them from things they're already used to. So yeah, they're still living in like the year 2002. So 2 of these drawings got put up at 1 yen, which was at the time 1 cent. One of the drawings was bid on by 48 people, and it was sold for $4,300. And the second one, $4,800. The latter item is the 5th most expensive item sold on Yahoo auction since April 2001, sorry. While the former is the 12th most expensive. And you can see the list here. For 2004, the highest priced items on Yahoo auctions were Clannad related. Like, as you can see, there's some Lego here. I don't know what happens if we translate. Yeah, Lego Spider-Man 2. Why the fuck was that 250,000? Oh, it's a prize item. What does that look like? I'm just curious. Like if I put 2004, it's on eBay. Let me see. Wait, would it be like, yo, you're in this location, you want to buy something? I don't know. Give me a sec. Oh, it's out of stock. When did that sell? Yeah, it's not leaking anything. Except for the fact that it does not ship to France. It had sold for $500 almost. Interesting. Anyway, this is what happens when I research for a video, by the way. I'm not even joking. What you're seeing right now is what happens every time I'm researching for a video. What really takes me a long time isn't actually finding things. It's getting distracted like that. Just literally like this. I'd be looking at something, I'll be like, I wonder what this is. And then I go into a rabbit hole. If I was actually researching and I wasn't live, I'd probably start fucking Googling everything here. And then I'd be like, oh shit, it's been an hour. I have to get back to work. Work, by the way. So yeah, as you can see, the first 2 most highest selling items in 2004 on Yahoo Japan, Yahoo auctions, was Clannad related. So this is how much Clannad means to people in Japan. Extremely rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards, V Jump Prize, winning set A, including female swordsman, Kanan, etc. What is this? This? You can't see. That actually looks cool. Yo, that actually looks cool. Damn. Damn, that's some cool art style. That's a cool art style. Have you guys seen the new Yu-Gi-Oh packs that look like this? They're really heading in the Pokemon direction, man. They really look anyway, Clannad is very important in Japan, all right? Why are you streaming on YouTube and not on Twitch? I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm literally dual streaming. It's in the announcement. I shouldn't get distracted. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, fuck off, man. So here are some of the works from Kyoto Animation, right? So they have things like Moonto, Lucky Star, Clannad, Suzumiya Haruhi, K-On I'm sure you've seen memes from K-On. I don't know what, honestly, I'm not really familiar with their works that much, but I can recognize some of them. And so, yeah, they're very popular in Japan, very big deal. And what ended up happening, unfortunately, look, they even made Violet Evergarden the movie, right? Some of you may recognize that. So what happened was, unfortunately, in 2019, yes, they did free. They did free. What is free? Why are you guys so excited over free? What the fuck? Free dive to what is this, like some gay stuff? Is this like two guys in love with each other or some shit? Is this what do you call it? Yaoi or some shit? That's why you got so excited, huh? That's why I got so excited. I feel like, you know, with certain women, they get more excited when they see BL or yaoi that they recognize out in the wild over maybe like winning the lottery. Is that something like, you know, is that unreasonable to say? I feel like it's very reasonable. I feel like it's very like real, you know? I feel like some women get so excited over seeing their favorite yaoi or BL out in the wild that the excitement they feel is more than like winning the lottery. It's crazy. Can't wait for the next Dead or Alive game to spark 18 gigatons of drama. Bro, will you cover it? If it's actually 18 gigatons, sure. When I think of Dead or Alive, I think of boobs that have their own brains, that have their own like free will, that move in different directions, you know, that because of that beach game. You should do a video or stream of all the things you've accidentally learned through researching stuff. That sounds like a fun stream idea, not more so a video. Yeah, anyway, yaoi aside, listen, we're talking about something serious here. Mugen talking about like my grandpa at Christmas. Bro, that's crazy, man. I get called Unk and now I'm being called grandpa. When us women see another yaoi enjoyer in public, we reenact the Spider-Man meme. Yaoi is serious, bitch. See, these are the benefits of having like almost 40% of your audience being women, you know? It's not something you find all the time, especially with commentary channels. It's mostly like 99% men. I'm glad that we have enough diversity of opinions in the chat that I can be told just how right I am about a woman seeing her favorite yaoi out in public. Anyway, 2019. Are you older than the Big Bang? That is insane. I should ban you for that right now, bro. I'm not even, wow, that's crazy. Only guy here that likes yaoi, you? You better not be talking about me. Better not be talking about me, man. Anyway. In 2019, this very well-known studio, Kyoto Animation, that made your fucking yaoi, unfortunately suffered an arson attack, right? And it killed 33 people. It was actually very tragic. This building was so old and decrepit that it didn't even have like a working sprinkler system. Okay, that's the problem with if you guys don't know Japanese real estate, when you buy an apartment or when you buy a house, it's like buying a car. You know how they say as soon as you buy a car and you drive it out the lot, it loses like 30% of its value. Yeah, well, in Japan, as soon as you buy a new home and you open the door, kind of the same. It's not like so much it loses 30% of its value. The clock starts ticking. Is what happens when you open the door. So, you know, they're really made in a kind of like from a temporary standpoint, right? They're prefabs. They're not the most high quality, which is why when you move to Japan, if you ever do, and you end up finally finding a landlord that will rent to a foreigner, you'll realize very quickly that the walls are very thin. You can hear your neighbors farting. You can hear them coughing. You can hear them arguing. You can hear them do a number of different things, okay? So yeah, this was unfortunately one of those old buildings that was just, I don't know, it probably like lost its value mostly and they didn't really do any maintenance on it. Mugen talking from personal experience? No, actually. I have not been to Japan yet. I will go, okay? Preferably when people stop treating it like a Disneyland resort, but I will go. But I've seen YouTubers that have lived there, and they all kind of say the same thing. Dude, if I actually get invited to a NASCAR race, I'm going to have to get an American visa, bro. They're gonna look at 5 years of my social media history. I'm fucked. I don't even have social. Like I don't. My personal social media. Like what the fuck do I even have? I don't have much. I just have my Facebook. I haven't posted on there for like 10 years. They're gonna be like, yo, this guy's suspicious. They're gonna be like, yo, this guy doesn't have the best intentions. You're gonna tell me he doesn't use social media? I'm not gonna show them my Mugen account. I'm fucked. But listen, for NASCAR, I would do it. If they actually invite me to a track, I would unironically go to the consulate and do my interview and get that shit over with, man. Facebook, I have an Instagram too, but it's private. That means I'll have to make it public. I'm pretty sure that's an instruction they give you. They say, yo, make sure to make your accounts public. They'll see like a couple of very old pictures. Where are you from? It's a secret, dude. It's the world's biggest mystery. You guys will know when I reach 1 million subs. Dress for 30-degree weather, dude. Honestly, if I had to go outside and I could choose how to get dressed without anyone remembering, I would probably go out naked at this point. It is that hot. It is that hot. I'm worse. I deleted my Facebook a little while back. No, I still have it. You know, I don't know why. I just do. Some people I know still post there for some reason. And I open it once a month maybe to just check up on them and be like, yeah, what's going on? I'm sure you're Canadian. I wish, bro. Why the fuck would I need a visa to go to the US if I'm Canadian? I lived in Japan and walls do vary a lot. I had a fairly insulated place and many newer homes do, but there are some thinner walls occasionally. Not a lot is done in prefabs too. Yeah, you know, it depends. Some buildings. Oh my God, Gipberry with the 20 gifted subs. Thank you so much, Gipberry. You got to chill though. Hey, listen, you dropped like a fucking 100 last stream. You got to chill. Thank you. But hey, listen, thank you. But you gift anymore. It's not going to be platonic anymore. But yeah, not all buildings are prefabs, of course, but there's a good amount of them that are built that way or are built with more of a temporary mindset. So yeah, you know, in any case, this building was really screwed up. This building was burnt. It was arsoned. I don't even know if that's a word, arsoned. So the person who went there was a 41-year-old, and the guy was just straight up saying, as he was burning the place, he was saying something. He was saying something like fucking die or something, right? From what I remember. I don't remember what website I saw that on. And what sucks is that, you know, this studio is known for paying its animators a regular salary. The fuck is that supposed to mean, bro? What are animators typically paid with? Rice? Breaking with the industry standard of paying per frame. Oh, okay. Which is seen as putting extreme pressure on staff. It is also the first successful studio outside Tokyo, Professor Ryusuke Hikawa from Meiji University told NHK. So, yeah, it couldn't have happened to nicer people. Honestly, like genuinely, it just couldn't have happened to nicer people. And they, of course, raised money on GoFundMe and whatnot, but, you know, you can raise millions of dollars, bro. The Mappa meme. Dude, have you guys seen the Mappa director? Like, bro, that guy has eye bags. Like, that, it's insane. Is that normal? Like, oh my God, this guy has not slept for 10 years. He has not slept for 10 years, bro. My God. Like, I don't know if that's a condition or something, but he has not slept for at least half a decade or something. My God, dude. I if you told me this was photoshopped, I'd believe you, but it's not. It's genuinely not. This guy has appeared multiple times in interviews, and his eye bags are massive. Like, this guy, even this Reddit post points it out. The bags under the director's eyes, they need a break. We should appreciate they're still trying their hardest to deliver the final season at the time, like Attack on Titan. It's insane. It's fucking crazy, bro. So yeah, and also I've seen people like this director with these massive eye bags. He has to check them at the airport. That's crazy, bro. I've seen him and other prominent animators in interviews say things like say things like, if we don't change something in the animation industry, then China's going to take over, right? And that's genuinely to think. It's like, if we don't change something in the industry, China's going to take over. And it is definitely a worry that they have because of these working conditions. So this might legit be the final generation of Japanese animators, which is tragic to think about. But I think they have bigger problems to worry about. They're going extinct like South Korea. They need to make some more babies. China take over? No way, right? Well, I mean, dude, China has already taken over the gacha space, right? Gacha games came from Japan, but now China's dominant. Like what other gacha game has made an impact like any Hoyoverse game or whatever that came from Japan? None. Almost none. So you are slowly changing my mind on VTubers. I'm not really. I don't know if I don't think the VTuber community even considers me a VTuber, but hey, I'm glad, dude. I'm glad. Especially if you've watched my VTuber videos. They don't typically highlight the best parts of the community. So yeah, even 6 years later, they're still remembered. They're still memorialized. There's even this little awesome sculpture that there's 36 sunflowers that symbolize every person who died, 36 people. And so yeah, this studio was behind Clannad and many other animes, and they were really trying their best to change the mentality in the industry. And only recently, back in March 19th, 2026, the arsonist, this was a very long court back and forth, right? They would say, yo, you're sentenced to death. He would file an appeal. It would be refused. He'd go to another court, and eventually it ended up in the high court, okay? The highest court, pretty much, in the Osaka High Court. And on March 17th, 2026, they were like, no appeal, bitch. You will die. You have a death sentence. You will die.
Salazes cheered X100.
Thanks, Salazes. So that happened very recently. That happened very, very recently. So I guess, justice was served. In any case, this definitely highlights how iconic the studio is and how dumb the comment was about, hey, this makes it feel like a PDF. And so the actual, Inoue Itaru, right? The person who made this style, literally the person who made this, the OG illustrator who made this style that she called, you guys look like insects or bugs, would talk about it. Of course, it would be tweeted in Japanese. This is the translation. She'd say, are you picking on my artwork again? There are tons of other characters with big eyes out there, yet you always go after just mine. Huh. Well, people have their tastes, so I guess it's unavoidable, but come on, don't go out of your way to say it on stream. And they would reply and say, woke up to a huge mess. I'm going to keep cherishing and living with my own illustrations thanks to everyone who worried about me. So honestly, it wasn't that crazy of a
Didicud cheered X100.
Statement.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I use my hand when I think of you, and then I say you woo.
That is crazy, bro. That's like the least platonic thing I've heard all stream, man. That's insane, man. That is crazy. I would implore you to seek help, bro. But thank you. I guess, maybe. As long as it's platonic, bro. Anyway, yeah, look, it was a very reasonable response. It was level-headed, pointing out just the artwork, not the fact that that person called it, pedophilic or anything. Of course, hey, listen, we're out here trying to get as many impressions as we can to get money. So Anime Trends will tweet again and say, Clannad artist explodes against streamer. Explodes.
Salazes cheered X100. Platonically adds to the woo.
Thank you. Dude, absolutely explodes. This artist crashed out, lost their minds, splurged over their monitor. No, actually, they got community noted. This artist's response was calm and only addressed the criticism of the artistic style, not exploding in rage or the streamer's insinuation of pedophilia. Right. So, so look, what I want to point out, right? This definitely, this started this whole discourse of Western fans, overseas fans being dog shit and et cetera, et cetera. Of course, perpetuated by Westerners themselves, right? Japanese people typically don't make tweets exposing overseas fans or anything unless it gets really ridiculous, which we're going to talk about. But in this case, this was someone who had their clip go viral. They said something stupid. They haven't addressed this, by the way. You know, this got disliked, but now when you go to other shorts, like the shorts after this. Wait, I'm trying to scroll up.
Joel Kuchid X100.
Thank you. I can only scroll down.
So I tried watching.
Anyway, look. The shorts after that one have their likes disabled. Okay. When was it? Whatever. Let's just look at a recent one. Like this one. No. Okay. It's still being disliked. All right. It's. From what I saw. Wait. What?
So I tried watching.
I'm sorry, anime enjoyers. That's the description. All right. Let's find it. Yeah. Okay. So
I tried.
So when you go up, let me hide myself so you can see. Yeah. So disabled by owner.
When
Disabled by owner, right? So she knows what's going on, but there's no apology about. Like, I don't think she should. If there's any apology, I don't think she should apologize for saying that the art style is ugly or whatever. Look, whatever you want to think, what you think, go ahead, right? But saying that it makes you feel like a pedophile, that's really weird. Okay, especially seeing that, you know, if you go to her account on Twitter, we can see that she is a very big anime fan, always retweeting stuff.
X100.
Right?
Here I sit broken-hearted, tried to shit but I only farted, but one day I took a chance, tried to fart but I shat my pants. Got him spending too much again.
Beautiful. That's, you know what? That's probably the prettiest thing you said today so far. So yeah, she's an anime enjoyer. She's someone who always retweets art and breakdowns and things like that. So, you know, if she was someone who has never looked at anime before, I would understand, you know, making a statement like this, not expecting some sort of backlash and still apologizing. But seeing that she already makes herself out to be an anime fan, I think made it worse for a lot of people and made them start to call her things like tourist and whatever. At the same time, the person who brought her the most negative attention was the person who posted this on Twitter, right? This person that's called KDF. You know, she's right, by the way, whatever. People didn't know about this until it was posted on this website. You know, her YouTube short even now has 70,000 views. This has 2.8 million. And so what does this person think? I feel like I should have used the Clannad discourse situation to rage bait more, but I don't really have that in me. I don't know. When this got posted from on the account Anime Updates, they would quote tweet it almost like fanboying or fangirling, and then they'd say, "Rage bait's so powerful, even Clannad creators come out. Actually, I have not seen a more unserious situation." If anything, dude, if I was this content creator, I'd be pissed at this fucking account, right? And this is something, if you guys are watching now or in the VOD or whatever, you really have to keep in mind. You really have to keep this in mind, right? This is most of this website. It's people like this, right? She's right, by the way. When this person doesn't give a single fuck about Clannad, about anime, about this person, nothing. It was just meant to instill chaos. Because why? This person has like what? Barely any followers. It doesn't affect them. Like nothing changes for them. They just wake up to some...
Leonard Vindel cheered X100.
Thank you, Leonard. They just wake up to some notifications. They just stir some chaos and whatever, right? This is most of this website. And this person is even monetized. Imagine if you had a reason to rage bait. This person's just doing it for the love of the game. But if you had a reason, monetary reason, imagine what you could do with this many views, right? So, yeah, something to always keep in mind. So this is like the entirety of this website at this point. And so this person right here would quote tweet the artist behind this art style and say, "My voice may never reach you, but this CG and Clannad's art, story, and music saved me when I was young. Thank you for drawing so beautifully for Clannad. Your art saved lives," right? Cue back the clip of her saying...
So I tried watching Bad Dad. Bro, the animation made her an ant. God, I felt like such a pedophile watching this.
On one hand, someone felt like their life was saved when they watched this. This was so iconic to them as they were growing up. On the other, you have someone calling it something that makes them feel like a pedophile. So, you know, that's how it is. But hey, at least the good news is this illustrator, this artist behind this art style, who has probably not gotten much, you know, engagement or whatever online, has all of a sudden seen an inundation of love, of support towards the art style, maybe motivating them to make some more stuff. At least there was somewhat of a wholesome ending for the artist, right? Not for anyone else in the story, but right. That was it. That was it. Artist subjective, yeah, it is. Again, I want to really specify this. I don't think her saying that she couldn't get into it, that she found it to be shit. Of course, she could have worded it better, but I don't think her saying that the art style sucks is a problem. You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, I mean, if you started watching anime today, and your best example of an anime template is something that Mappa makes, you'll see this and think, what the fuck is this insect? But to sit here and say, yo, man, I tried watching it, but it made me feel like a pedophile. That's definitely like, that's really reaching. You know, that's that's reaching, bro. What's up, Yuli? What's up, Dust? So yeah, and that brings us to the other topic. Look what this person had to say. Quote tweeting the whole anime tweet, anime updates tweet, and saying, between this and that female mangaka shutting her profile down, it's been quite the week for embarrassing Western anime douchebags. And that brings us to the other thing that we got to talk about, which is what happened with Gachikura's manga author. Okay. If you thought the situation was cringe, guys, I would put on my cringe goggles, my cringe mask, my cringe hazmat suit, because guys, we're about to step deep into shit right now. Okay. The image below is crazy. I didn't even notice, dude. I did. You mean the literal racist? This is not TOS, okay? This is just, I don't know, man. You don't see anything, okay? It's just, it's someone drew some milk on paint or whatever. All right, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to this. Thank you for streaming while I'm doing chores. Let's go. Good luck with the chores. What's up, Ria? Am I just not a Twitter person, or is this seems like it blew out of proportion? I don't feel like she said anything crazy. Well, look, the thing, you'll understand why this discourse was so heated. This is something that happens at least once or twice every month at this point. It just involves anime and people complaining about it in the West, right? And it's always like this discourse. So did it need to get this heated? No. But I understand why. This is actually heated. This is actually a crazy topic right here. And you'll actually understand, like, look, in general, anime discourse on a website like Twitter is always heated. It's always just nasty, which is why I call this a nasty drama. And so what happened with the Clannad drama, it kind of gives you a taste of how nasty the drama can get. Again, I still think what she did was wrong, saying that this anime was for pedophiles, but you'll understand why. So we'll get to this. We'll get to this. I've been drinking water way too much, which is pretty much, I guess it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I really need to pee, bro. Holy shit. I've been drinking water way too much because it's so hot. So I'll be right back. I will be right back. Should I play anything? Should I do anything? No. You guys will just look at you'll just see my idol VTuber. Go piss girl. Is that an emote? What is that? What is go piss? All right, be right back. Be right back. I'll be quick. And I will wash my hands. Don't you dare fucking ask me when I'm back. Don't you dare, bro. Who do you think I am? Right back. The guy goes to pee, comes back to his chat, seeing it more active than when he's fucking talking. It's insane. I love you guys. I just remembered a topic I wanted to talk about in the intro. Did you wash your hands? Yes, I fucking did. Bro, the boys finale was so bad. The boys finale. Listen, intermission. You wash your hands, bro? Dude, you don't have to donate. You didn't have to donate that. You didn't have to. Did you fall in the toilet? What the fuck is that question? Bro, listen. Pee breaks do humanize him. It's true. What do you mean it humanizes me? What the fuck? I am a human. When did you ever get another impression? Yes, I washed my hands, guys. Yes. What color was the pee? It was honestly, it was transparent, bro. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Some of you may say it means I'm overhydrated, but listen, at this point, it's hot as fuck. Better be overhydrated instead of fainting, right? Why am I telling you this? I don't know. Anyway, the boys' final episode was dog shit. Yes, that's right. It was really bad. I don't want to spoil you guys, but I was so disappointed. The last season in general was terrible. It was terrible. It was yeah, it was unfortunate, man. For many seasons they kept teasing Homelander just going crazy and killing everyone, and he, God, man, it was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate. So since I want to see more Anthony Starr, who is the actor behind Homelander, I'm now watching a show called Banshee. And now that's a good fucking show. It reminds me of like back when television was good. Yeah. That was it's so good. It's so good. You actually get to see the main character get W's.
A Sterlis cheered X100, a tentacle entered a special place. I will not spoil further, but that made the episode a 10/10 to me.
A 10 out of 10 because a tentacle went through someone's ass? Really? Well, that's someone I would have wanted to see them die. I don't know, man. Definitely interesting. There's an obsession with buttholes in that show. Who was Anthony Starr? The guy behind Homelander, you know? I'm better. I'm smarter. I'm better. Yeah. Spoiler, what the fuck? We didn't say who. We didn't say, and that's not the first time someone gets killed by something going up their ass, by the way. Okay, if you actually watch the show, at some point during, I think, season 3, someone gets miniaturized and goes inside someone's. It was disturbing. But anyway, yeah, very shitty last season. It was written all over the place. And I think my biggest complaint is that the world felt very shit, like very quiet, very empty. There was no world building. That's a complaint you see everywhere. And it's true. It was just going from set piece to set piece to set piece to set piece. You never saw people's opinions. You never saw like news broadcasts, none of that. It just felt like a YouTube video. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, so very unfortunate. But I highly recommend Banshee. It's a very good show. Although, man, it is so explicit. I would not recommend it watching it as a family. Okay, almost every single episode has a death. Almost every single episode has one of the most uncensored, you know what I mean? Like, love-making scenes imaginable. They hide like almost nothing, bro. Honestly, man, these actors. At some point, I just was thinking to myself, like, what did they tell the main character on like his 12th scene? Like, yo, man, we're gonna do some, we're gonna do some adulting scene right now with this actor. Oh, cool. It's her turn. Okay, cool. Oh, it's her turn. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's called Banshee. It's really good. It's really good. Really good show. I'm on season 3 right now. Really, really good. There's 4 seasons. Past then, what are you gonna watch it with your family? Ultra Bumblebee? Are you going to watch it with your family? Yeah, in that case, I wouldn't recommend it. I was thinking to myself, man, my mom loves Prison Break. This show has the same good writing you would expect from an old school show like Prison Break. But then I was like, do I really want to recommend my mom a show where there's a sex scene every single episode? Do I really want to do that? Probably not. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, I saw some people here saying that they're watching Invincible. Invincible was cool. That last season was really cool. I'm going to tell you, there were a couple seasons where it was so boring. It was really, really boring. But this season was cool. Just, all that build up. Every episode was awesome. Really enjoyed it. Except Prison Break had a garbage final season. Yeah. I mean, no, not just the final season. At some point, there was like a writer's strike. But, you know, it still had that old school TV magic. You know what I mean? Well-written characters, no bullshit, very humanizing. You know, like part of the reason why people loved Baldur's Gate 3 so much, the game, is because characters were written this way. They were very human. Each one of them had their own story, and you followed it, and you wanted what's best for them. And you had a very hard time finding a character you didn't like. That's how Banshee's written. So I low-key got nervous about Thrag. Bro, Thrag was so fucking cool and funny at the same time. The memes about Thrag are really funny. Like, sometimes I'll find someone on TikTok that wants to express that they're pissed off. And, bro. Who made this, bro? Who fucking made... Dude, this is the fucking Rakai meme. It's the fucking Rakai meme, bro. There's like this meme, like this right here, right? This right here, where he's like, it's low res, but like it's when he's separating the two rocks and crying with tears in his eyes. Some people have made this like into a very explicit meme where it's like as if he's opening up your booty cheeks. Anyway, listen. Point is, if it's God, man, the Invincible fandom is really something else. The Invincible fandom is really something else, bro. It really is something. This fandom is really something else, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? It's like some AI bullshit. Dude, this fandom is genuinely insane, bro. Nah, actually. Anyway, let's get back to the why are we talking so much about butts this stream? Why not, bro? We all have one, right? We all... Anyway, Gachakuda. Listen, one of the best animes I've seen recently, one of the best new entries in animes I've seen recently. The art style is incredible. I don't really read mangas. To me, mangas don't exist. You know, like when an anime comes out, I'm like, wow, never heard of this before. I have a friend who reads mangas, and they're like, oh yeah, this was a manga I read. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that is. I'm just here watching this for the first time as it's releasing. So when this came out, was hooked from the first episode. Really cool premise, amazing art style. And of course, this was made possible, right? This art style and everything, this was made possible by the mastermind behind it. Okay? And that is Kei Urana. She is the mangaka, right? She comes up with the story and she draws it. Like, imagine, bro. You are a genius writing-wise and drawing-wise. Is there something she can't do? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, no, she can do everything. She's not the only one, though. She's also with another dude. Okay, they're the co-creators. Graffitis play a very important part in the show, and he's a graffiti artist behind that art. So, you know, it's somewhat of a collaborative effort. Someone in the chat said, she's also hot, apparently. I mean, there she is right here, man. You know, you make up your own opinion, but it doesn't change anything. She's very talented, all right? She's very, very talented. So, listen, she made a Twitter account specifically to interact with the fandom, okay? Mostly the overseas fandom. No, she's not ginger. I'm pretty sure this is a hair dye. But ever since then, there's been multiple dramas that have occurred, unfortunately, right? Even though this anime is incredible, right? Like, it wins Best Shonen Manga at the 50th Kodansha Awards, you know, and it was also nominated for Anime of the Year at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I think, wasn't it? I don't even know who won that. When I saw it, it pissed me off, and I just closed it. What was it? I'm pretty sure it released recently. Anyway, whatever. Wait. What was it? Solo Leveling. Yeah. So listen, Solo Leveling. It's a cool anime to eat to. That's all I'll say. Best original anime. Let's go, bro. My man still got it. My man Watanabe still got it. Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Lazarus, Space Dandy. Someone stop him. Someone genuinely stop him. He's unstoppable. Yeah, no, that they got best animation, best director, best action, best isekai, best drama, best slice of life, best bro, just anime of the year. Read on below as they announce, including who took the coveted Anime of the Year award. My Hero Academia. Oh yeah, I saw that. No, actually, you know what? I'm not pissed off. I've seen clips of this. It looks really good. It looks really good. Film of the Year, Demon Slayer. Okay, that's kind of crazy though. That's kind of crazy. But listen, man, I watched this in theaters. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Mid Slayer, bro. Animation was top tier, but listen, Demon Slayer is like the most generic story imaginable. Very good animation. All right, it is a very generic anime story. I feel like Chainsaw Man did a better job showcasing what new anime can do to a wider audience. That's my opinion. I also think 100 Meters is really, 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 really good. 100 Meters, I watched this recently. 100 Meters is an incredible movie. It is really, really good. You know, it's the kind of movie that gets shown at like a film festival. It's a really good movie. If any of you are going through a phase of self-doubt or motivation issues or whatever, or anything, really anything involving pursuing your passion, 100 Meters is a movie you should watch, for sure, because it goes through that. It goes through the very unpleasant periods of doing so, about the challenges. It's very emotional, very cool. So highly recommend it. Yeah, I would have wanted to see 100 Meters or Chainsaw Man win, but it is what it is. It's the Crunchyroll Awards, man. Who gives a fuck? Honestly, who even likes Crunchyroll here? Didn't this anime Gachikura get yes, it got Calliope Mori to do an opening for them. Yes, and it's honestly one of my favorite openings of that anime season. It is so good, dude. It is so good, man. I'm not really that much of a corporate VTuber watcher, but when it comes to Mori, dude, yeah. At this point, I am a fanboy. What the fuck is up, dude? What the fuck is up? She's so talented. So yeah, listen, Gachikura is really, really good. As you saw, it took multiple. I love Crunchyroll. Please let me see my family. Does Crunchyroll have your family hostage? What's your opinion on My Little Pony? That's a very interesting question. So much that you wanted to ask that while donating $10. My opinion on My Little Pony, I think it's a very cute show for kids. Let's leave it at that. I think it's a very cool show for kids, right? It's awesome. Good for them. When it comes to the adults, let's just leave it at that, dude. Honestly, let's just leave it at that. But yeah, I think it's a wonderful show for kids. Fuck, you mean for kids? What the fuck? It's My Little Pony. Is My Little Pony meant for kids? r/My Little Pony. MLP is not for kids. Whatever, bro. Damn, Mugen, I didn't know My Little Pony had your family hostage. Bro, I think it's weird if you're 40 years old and you watch My Little Pony and talk about it as if it's like your favorite thing in the world, okay? All right? I don't typically like to shit on people's hobbies, okay? It is weird. That's it. Nothing else. No need to go down that rabbit hole. But they have a lot of money. They do. That fandom has a lot, just like furries. They have a lot of money. And so, yeah, certain artists, certain cosplay artists, let's say your passion is making cosplays and no one's buying your shit. Well, yeah, most likely you'll get an MLP fan in your DMs and you can make some good money making them an MLP outfit. Am I stupid? I thought most manga writers do the art like Black Butler and Junji Ito. I actually don't know. Well, the thing is, no, you're not stupid. That's one. And two, not always. Not always. Sometimes you might find someone who is in charge of the story and someone in charge of the art. But yeah, typically what is expected from a mangaka is that they do everything. That's not to say that they don't have a team either. I don't know if she has a team, Kei Rana, but you know, it's yeah. So Black Butler mentioned, yeah. Yeah, yeah. One Piece will always win the best continuing series award. What the fuck is the point? You know, guys, did you guys know? God, we're so off topic. Did you guys know that One Piece, the card game, the first card game store, the first official card game store that ever opened in the world was in Paris? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? You probably didn't. You're fucking welcome. Did you guys know that the country that bought the most One Piece mangas in the world after Japan is France? Yeah, you probably didn't know that either. There's a card game? Yeah. Yeah. Rare W France. What do you mean Rare W? Have you tasted pastries? So yeah, you know, there's a card game. Yes, there is. There is. And there's a store. And I went to that store and they sell a bunch of booster packs for way too much fucking money. And I opened some and I got an okay card. It was like a full illustration. I got an okay card. It's worth like $13. I'm keeping it. It's nice. It's cool. Wait, you're French? I live here. I am not French. I live here. Okay, so even though this anime is incredible, even though the mangaka is extremely talented, even though et cetera, she's gotten into controversies before. Okay, some of the dumbest shit you can imagine, but they were still things that, you know, started a shitstorm. So this was one controversy that happened, I think, last year or a few months ago or whatever. She reposted a video on her Instagram of a fan recreating a scene from the anime of a character that has dreads. And instead of getting a wig, he used leeks, the vegetable. To this day, when people call her racist, they're referencing this incident, just so you guys know, right? Just so you guys know. Everywhere you go, if you see someone calling her racist, they're referencing this. Okay? Bro, at this point, like, this guy, this is someone who's probably Japanese using leeks because he probably didn't have anything else available. Okay. All right. But no. Listen, here's some advice. If you have a monetized Twitter account and you want to make as much money as possible from impressions, here's a guide. Here's a quick guide. Listen, here's a quick guide. Mention dreads. That's one topic that always starts a shitstorm. Just say something about dreads that you know is going to trigger people. You get 1 million views easy, right? There's that. There's also other topics too, you know? But one of the topics that always pop up every few months on this stupid ass website is the discourse around dreads. This always happens. It's a very easy way to get impressions and rage bait. So yeah, you know, so that's one of the dramas that she was involved in, just as an example. So whenever you see someone calling her racist, it's because of this, because she reposted this video with someone with leaks in his head. I don't know. I have this open here. Oops. So one other thing that people always, God, this is so stupid. One thing that people were doing with Kei Urana is telling her, this character that you created, yeah, well, they're transgender. Like, as if they're telling her something that she didn't know. Like, hey, you know, just to be clear, this character that you created and wrote, you know, you probably don't know this, but they're transgender. Please admit that, right? And she wouldn't. She's like, dude, he's not trans. Like this, Tams, he's not transgender. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I made him. So this happened at the beginning of the year. What started this discourse? What started this person? Look at this. Just for a second here. Try not to lose your mind looking at this. Someone would post this fake DM, these fake DMs with Kei Urana, making it seem like Kei Urana said, Tamsi is trans, no one will believe you, ha ha ha. Like some sort of fucking evil villain. It's so stupid. And look, it got 500,000 views, 16,000 likes. Some people genuinely believed this was real, that Kei Urana is hiding the fact that he's trans. Because why not, right? Because I don't, dude, seriously, I really don't even know what to say to this, bro. This really makes me speechless. But anyway, she would reply to this and say close but not quite, I don't use the poop emoji after laughing, right? So, she took it well, like a good sport, right? As you would expect someone mature. But yeah, people were straight up making shit up for no reason. At that point, she would pretty much say like, hey, like, stop impersonating me, right? I'll let this slide this time because it was funny. I don't even use the poop emoji, but let's chill with that. So at the time back in January, this typically doesn't happen, but Japanese people also were involved, right? And this guy right here would say, I don't understand the reaction to this, right? Because she would say, they're saying things like Tamsy's transgender. I don't think that's the case at all. And then she would say, I don't understand and he would say, I don't understand the reaction to this. In Japan, what the author says is 100% absolute, at least within the context of the work. Is it different overseas? Like, is it like, is there something I'm missing? Like when an author writes something original from scratch and says something, people respect that. They don't tell them, no, actually, you're wrong. The character that you made is this, right? He'd continue by saying, even in Japan, there are arguments among fans about the interpretation of stories and characters, but the original author's words are always true, right? So the point is, if you see some sort of a relationship in flux between two characters, you can be like, oh, I think I ship them. I think they're dating, et cetera, et cetera. But if the author straight up makes a statement saying, yo, these two are friends, they have a platonic relationship, they're not dating. You take a step back, you're like, all right, hands up, don't shoot. The author said that, right? But the theories are mostly involved around things that aren't clear. They're kept, specifically vague, right? But here, she's like, yo, guys, this character is not transgender. Just leave me alone. They're like, no, actually, you're wrong, Kei Urana. Okay? You're wrong. You wrote this character, but let me educate you on why this person is trans. So these are some of the kinds of things that are like crazy, right? And look, it gets crazier. Yes, I know. You're out here thinking, come on, Mugen, what the fuck? Why do you have so many tabs open? It would get to a point where those same people on Twitter making a mess of this wouldn't just go to Kei Urana and telling her, hey, listen, your characters are this and you don't know. No. They would tell her, actually, Kei Urana, you are this sexuality. You're just not aware of this. Yes. They would start pushing the idea that she's non-binary. Okay? They would start saying, Kei Urana, I can't believe you don't make this character trans. You're non-binary. She said she's non-binary. She's never said that. Community note, of course. No, she's not. She's literally not. So now we went from pushing certain, sexualities and whatnot on characters to defining her gender or what she identifies as, right? It's ironic because typically people who are open to, someone being non-binary or whatever, or trans, these people are open to it. Why? Because they say, hey, you have the right, you deserve to identify yourself as anything you want, right? That's what you expect from people like that. But they're over here telling this person, no, you're this. You don't have a choice. Like, I don't care what you are. You're non-binary, whether you like it or not. It's like, what? See, like, how is that any different from going to someone who's gay and saying, no, you're actually straight. You're just dumb. You don't know what's going on in your head. You're actually, dude, just shut up, right? She would see this and would go on Instagram and be like, internet, Urana is non-binary. Me, really? Bro, this is insane. This is genuinely some of the dumbest, craziest shit I've seen in my life, bro. She's straight up like, yo, I didn't get the memo. I guess I'm non-binary. Really? Like me? Last I checked, I was into men, right? Yeah, she's making fun of it and stuff, but eventually at the, the conclusion of this story is going to be the fact that she deactivated her Twitter account, right? So it did get to a point where it was kind of ridiculous. So yeah, this is when, she'd notice what was going on and she would make that post on her Instagram. But, this was very messy. This was all back in January 2026. It was this crazy thing going on. It resurfaced recently, right? Which is why we're talking about this. But yeah, like look at this person's tweet. I don't care that Urana isn't non-binary. I care that they're doing all this after already creating a space for transphobia instead of just keeping shit to themselves. A bit of self-awareness wouldn't hurt. someone would say, after already creating a space for transphobia, when all she did was confirm one of her characters wasn't trans, is crazy. Like, dude, it was getting blown out of proportion for nothing, right? So this is what people these days call rage bait. Rage bait isn't this. It's completely like changing the definition of what it is. It's you just messing with someone, right? Like, I don't know. They say the earth is round and you're like, but how? Do you have proof? And then they give you proof and you're like, but this doesn't prove anything. That's rage bait, right? That's rage bait. This isn't rage bait. This is defamation. This is like, yeah, definitely defamation of the highest order, personal attacks, etc., etc. Sorry, Muujin, you are now goon binary. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Pancakes versus waffles, ass shit. Listen, I'm sure you guys are all aware of this. Tweets. Come on, bro. Yeah, this right here. I'm sure you've seen it a million times. I have. Twitter, the only place where well-articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and somebody will say, so you hate waffles? No, bitch, that's a whole new sentence. What the fuck is you talking about? Yes and no. This used to be old Twitter. This was made in 2017. We now live in a new world, okay? Twitter is different. And I've kind of talked about this in a small stacked video as well. Soon enough, I think 4chan is going to go extinct, right? I do think so, because it doesn't serve any purpose anymore. Everything you used to find on 4chan, if you used to browse that when you were younger, you can find on Twitter. You know, there's no more separation. You know, it used to be a corner of the internet where you could say things that you couldn't say on other platforms. Now you can just say them anywhere. So it's shifting. So now instead of this whole discourse about pancakes and waffles, it's different. Now you can post anything. You can post something like, I don't know, let's say you're a woman and you post a picture of, I don't know, a cool meal, right? Let's say you post a McDonald's burger and you just caption it, oh my God, this Big Mac was really good. People won't reply with, I like this or I like that. So you hate you hate McChickens? No, they'll reply with, you shouldn't deserve to eat, whore. Like, that's exactly what Twitter is these days, right? That's what Twitter is these days. It has gone from this whole pancakes versus waffles thing, and it's just become a place like that, right? So that's why people are feeling like, man, why the fuck should I even use this website, honestly, at this point? So yeah, this person would make a tweet saying, bro, looking at Kaorana, I understand why mangakas don't interact with their fans online, especially abroad fans. Wish infinite patience for author. And that's true, man. Why would you? You have Instagram. Hell, I think Threads is more sane than Twitter at this point. So yeah, American, French, wanting to explain Twitter. Imagine a burger. I'm not American, bro. I'm not French either. Yeah, so keep the fandom spaces alive by creating, not by holding a mangaka at gunpoint. True. Selfish artists were using the cover art and such to place their own original characters. Kay said not to do that. People hating on Kay just because she didn't want fan art to pass as official material. Yeah, that was another story as well. You know, people were taking official art from Kay and adding their own characters to it and claiming like it's official, right? That's another story too. And this is something she asked people to stop doing and they didn't. Zero respect. So, of course, other than this drama as well, you know, with this whole idea that she's racist because of this, again, guys, you want easy clicks, just make drama about dreads, bro. Oh my God. There's just some topics that you always see resurfacing. I'd say like you have dreads. What else? What else that you constantly see resurface on Twitter? I mean, anything that involves OnlyFans, anything that involves someone making a lot of money on that website. What else? There's just these topics that are evergreen. Evergreen meaning that you can always find them years from now. Always, you know. Dreads is one of them. Dreads is this thing where I'm confident 10 years from now, when I'm a prehistoric fossil, I will still find being discussed on that website. I'm just so sure. It's just so simple, so easy. Dang, Muujin, your stream is longer than my dog walk. Me and my girl are chilling on the doorstep now. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Glad you're safe. Yeah. So I wish Twitter didn't reward behavior like this, especially with monetary benefits. It does. And this is advice I would give anyone. I would give anyone this advice. If you guys get your news from Twitter, don't. unless you know that the account you're getting it from is not monetized. It's that simple. You have no reason to trust anyone who is monetized on a website whose algorithm rewards negative behavior. It's just, there's no reason to. It's, you know how many times I was scrolling through my feed and I saw something crazy and I was like, wait, is this real? And then I Google it, it ends up being fake. It's so crazy, man. There's like no reason to be honest when you're being paid for impressions. You know, hey, just saying, I'm not monetized on Twitter, okay? I'm verified. That's different. That's different, but I'm not monetized, okay? I ain't about to give my fucking ID to the Mossad, bro. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Okay, are you insane, bro? Why the fuck would I want to do that? Are you insane, bro? Because the third party that they use, the third party like that verifies your identity, I mean, at this point, it's known. They say, oh, we're going to delete your info, but come on, you know. They have links with the Mossad. Oh my God, this reminds me of a TikToker who posted cool meals she made for her husband, and all the comments were people saying she's supporting patriarchy. You know what? Sometimes, unfortunately, when you make content, it'll reach the wrong audience. And when that happens, they will not let you go. That's an issue. That's an issue. But yeah, you know, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. And, you know, it's mostly, this is why this is such a messy topic, because it always somehow like, time for paint. Whenever there's like some really, really nasty drama going on Twitter, let's say there's drama about dreads, right? Let's say there's drama about pancakes and waffles. What's up, the Dark Prince? Let's say there's like drama about whatever. The problem with very nasty dramas like this is that they will always lead back not to Rome, but to US politics. God, if there's one thing I fucking hate more, it's probably the weather right now. Yeah, so that's the problem. That's why it's so nasty, right? Every time there's a drama, it always leads back to US politics. And US politics inherently are so fucking nasty these days. It's both sides. Both sides are so nasty. So that's the problem. And of course, like with this, with all that happened with Kate Rana, it also devolved into that, you know, about left versus right, et cetera, et cetera. And in reality, people should just like respect an author's fucking wishes. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to devolve always into this, but it does, you know, as you might expect. It did. So yeah, you know, I don't have a problem with Americans. Hey, listen, a big chunk of my viewers are Americans, and you guys are amazing. You know, we have a wonderful community, but it's just the reality right now. It's just that whenever everything is centered around politics these days, unfortunately, and whenever it's mentioned, yeah, it gets very messy and it gets annoying. It gets repetitive. You know, I mean, we're in 2026. This has been going on for over a decade. It's like, bro, you know. So unfortunately, all this bullshit, people not respecting her wishes about not using her art style and making it seem like it's official, you know, using her cover and art and stuff and adding their own original characters, people calling her racist all the time, people, you know, calling her transphobic, people imposing their own gender on her, making her, like forcing her to admit that she's non-binary even though she's not, et cetera, et cetera. It made her leave. It made her leave. I thought you were already a fossil. Aren't you like 40? Bro, that's insane, man. That's insane. Don't ever make the mistake of expecting human decency on the internet. Well, unfortunately, you used to have that. You used to. You might still find it in some corners of the internet. You know, like, for example, when I go to my comment section, when I go to my YouTube posts, when I go to the chat on Stacked, when I chat with my viewers, when I go to my Discord, you guys, you know, it always gives me hope. Hey, there's people who still are cool out there, right? But obviously, when you go to these posts right here, when you go on websites like Twitter that attract negativity naturally, yeah, you'll lose hope. For sure. You're like 30, right? I'm not 30, bro. I'm still in my 20s. I'm in my late 20s, bro. I'm not 30. Okay, there's a very big difference. Her mental health is probably better now without Twitter. Yeah, I'm also glad she deactivated, right? She would say, all right, the drama on X has gotten worse, and I've determined it's starting to interfere with my creative work. So with this, I'm saying goodbye to X. See you somewhere else. Honestly, good for her. All the power to her. I'm proud of her. Okay. You 20? Sure. Yes, I'm in my late 20s, bro. Why do so many people think I'm older? You sound 80. That's insane. You don't mean that. I should ban you for that. You do not mean that, bro. If I sounded 80, I'd be talking like this. Guys, thank you for tuning in today. I don't sound like that, man. Uncle Muujin, go to Blue Sky. We are drama free. That's arguable. That's arguable. I'll have you know that during the whole Genshin Impact voice actor drama, Blue Sky was the main spot for that shit. Okay, I'll have you know. And I'll also have you know that I have a Blue Sky account that I don't use, and I was added to a block list. The block list was called Voice Acting Trolls. The description said something along the lines of everyone who has something not productive to say about voice acting, the strike or whatever. Like, dude, you know, like, let's stop pretend that Blue Sky is anything better. It's the same shit, different color. I mean, that's American politics, left and right. It's just the same exact thing under different colors. It's the same shit. It's the same fucking shit. People are realizing this now. It took them a while, but people are realizing this now, you know? So, yeah, it's the same shit, just different color. So it doesn't matter. When a website rewards such behavior, it will reward such behavior. It doesn't matter who's saying it. Trust me, you know, initially when Blue Sky, the first wave of refugees from Twitter to Blue Sky went, yeah, it was a cool fucking website. I'll give you that. But then it just became a website that just same shit, different day. I feel like it's value add for you that most of your critics tend to be alt-right idiots. Gives the impression that you're on the level platonically. Listen, I'm not really political. I don't think that. I don't even think alt-right's a thing anymore, honestly. People just call them right-wing these days. But I'd say whatever, man. I'd say it's mostly both sides are like this. Okay, both sides are like this. I mean, at the same time, even though yes, some of my critics who aren't really very good people to begin with, tend to lean right, it doesn't mean that I don't get hate from the left too, right? And this is something I always like to point out. I've gotten hate from both sides. Both sides. My videos have been brigaded from both sides, right? And that's because I never really make it clear which side I belong to, because it kind of works like a mafia. As soon as you say, hey, I'm part of this side, you're protected by that side, no matter what you do, right? No matter what you do. Because they have a reason to. They have a reason to, because it helps their goals, reach their goals, whatever. But when you're not political, you don't really give a shit. Honestly, when you hate both, which is me, when you hate both sides, then both sides will hate you back. So yeah, I've been called anything from like Nazi to incel to simp to whatever. Like every insult from both sides I've been called. So I don't really like focus on that. Unfortunately, it's just the way of the world. I don't think it's gonna last. The enlightened centrist, honestly, man, I don't know. I wouldn't really define myself anything. I'm not even a centrist. I don't know. It's first off, I have nothing to do with American politics. I only care about how they affect where I'm living and where my parents are living. That's the extent I care about. For me, it's really just a clown show. It's always been. But yeah, I've just no horse in this race. I don't care enough for that. And honestly, if you care about your mental health, it's also it will be the same thing. Unless it personally affects you, then it's different. You don't really have a choice, but I'm good. But yeah, at the same time though, it's cyclical. That's also something that a lot of people forget. It's cyclical. When I say that both sides are the same but under different colors, I mean it. It's cyclical. Like if you guys were here, you know, if you were on Twitter back during 2016, you'd know that back then, if you grifted on the left, you got a lot of money and followers out of it. Leftism peaked in 2020 and then slowly drifted to the right. And now we're living in an era where right is on top. Same thing. But those people that really were on the top when they were left in 2016, now they're irrelevant. And now it's really all about grifting to the right. And it's going to be cyclical. God knows, maybe in like a year or two, it's going to cycle back. It's all the same thing. It's the same exact thing, right? So I think once you realize that it's like the cyclical clown show, that's this charade, always in motion, changing every few years, you realize there's really no reason to dabble in that shit. And eventually when the grifters will lose relevancy and it'll cycle to the other side, I'll still be here. because I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. I don't really have any intentions to grift. So yeah, you know, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. It is all of a big grift. It is. It is. You know, of course, I could go deeper into that, but there's no need. The point is, yeah, a lot of it is grifting. It's always been that way, really. I mean, even politicians grift. That's what they do. Their definition of grift is different, though. It's more like, hey, who gives me the most money? All of a sudden, wake up tomorrow and grift towards that opinion. But yeah, that's just how it is. I stay out of it. I have no interest in it whatsoever. My content has never been political. I'm not someone who, and I've openly said I'm not American. I really don't give a shit. You know, I have no reason to all of a sudden become a grifter now. So yeah, but there's a lot of people that are getting tired of it. Yeah, you're not the only ones. There's a lot of people that are getting tired of this whole like grifting rhetoric. It's getting annoying, and it typically signals a shift in cycles, right? This is a cyclical shift happens typically when people really reach a point where they're like, I cannot stand this shit anymore. Just shut up. So yeah. But it'll cycle back again. You know, that's just how it is. So in Kay Rana's case, unfortunately, she got caught in the middle of this all. She got caught in one side of this cycle, and she didn't do anything wrong. She really didn't. And the thing is, right? Let's just take the, you know, play devil's advocate here and say that she actually fucked up. Let's say she actually fucked up with this. She's actually racist for reposting a dude using leeks as hair. Okay, let's say that. If you actually thought that, you don't attack her. If you actually thought that and wanted to change her mind, you don't call her racist and try to cancel her and try to attack her personally and whatnot. You try to be as nice as possible and try to educate her, right? But that wasn't the case. She was just being called racist, her name being tarnished for no reason. People she associates with also feeling the impact. And we'll get to that. So, yeah, she ended up deleting it. You know, she started blocking people, something that she doesn't do usually. I think I have this account muted. Yeah, I do. I usually have like most anime accounts I have muted because I don't like spoilers of any kind. I feel like I enjoy things so much more when I don't interact with their communities, right? Because that's how I was as a kid. I wasn't really on the internet much. When I would play a game or watch something, I would just watch it by myself, conclude things about the show or a game, whatever, by myself, discuss them with friends, but never interact with the community itself. It was so good. And I realized that that was something that I was very lucky to have. So yeah, now I just mute anything that has to do with that. You know, when it comes to media, I don't care about other people's opinions. I don't care. I really don't. I don't give a shit if it's like highly rated. I don't care. I don't care. If you don't like it, I don't care. I'm just sticking to myself that I like it. That's what I care about. I don't want to be influenced by someone else. And I talk about it with friends. That's all. Although sometimes it's nice to see people share your same opinion, like how the last episode of The Boys was dog shit. Yeah. That's also nice. But typically I really don't interact with anything that I watch. God, I'm sweating. This weather's crazy. So, at the same time, as I said, she wasn't the only one who was affected, right? So the graffiti designer, Hideyoshi Andu, which is this guy right here. No, this guy, right? He would tweet out, people who can talk properly are precious. People who can truly listen to what is said are precious. If you can't even hold a conversation, there's no need to even consider them in your field of view. You realize just how important conversation is. You realize just how important it is to be in a position where you can speak. Guess I'll delete it too. He's, of course, referring to Twitter. It's not even fun anymore. No matter how much I share all sorts of stuff here, if there's no one to appreciate it, there's no need to report it either. The people you're meant to meet, you'll meet in the places you're supposed to, definitely. Regret after losing is nothing more than a beautiful story. And then this person, of course, will make fun of him. Okay, soft A, dramatic as fuck. You're acting like someone killed her. Bro, this website's so dog shit, man. Yeah. So this is what he thinks, and I fully agree with him. You know, what he's saying is very wise, very smart. Mujin, can you pause the stream? I need to pee. I feel like every stream I go live, there's someone who asks that fucking question. Yeah, dude, go. We'll wait. Run though. All right, guys, go. Quick pee break. Go ahead. I'm gonna drink some water. If you're not gonna go pee, at least drink some water, dude. Multitask, watch the stream, and pee. That's next level dedication. That's next level dedication for sure. Wait, I'm not done. What are you watching and peeing? This is why we love you platonically. I love you too platonically so much. I'm drinking boba. That's awesome. I could really use some boba right now, dude. In this weather. Unfortunately, it's what? What's the time? What's the time? I can't even. The taskbar isn't even fucking showing up. I guess it's like if I went live at 10. Yeah, it's almost. It's midnight. Yeah, it's midnight. Ain't no boba places open right now. There are people watching while sitting in the toilet for sure, so why not? Yeah, I sometimes do that. I sometimes, if I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a long poop, like you just know, like your intestines, they speak to you, and sometimes you know, oh shit, I'm gonna need a long time, right? So you're like, okay, I'll take my phone. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's very reasonable. Just mod on the toilet at this point. You don't have to be that dedicated, bro. We thankfully have a very cool community. We thankfully have a wonderful community. Hi, Mujan. I barely knew what a VTuber was, and now I have my PhD in VTuber drama. Just want to say thanks. Your style is entertaining and concise. Also, I think you'd be a great audiobook narrator. Thank you. Wow, that's an incredible PhD. Congratulations. I'd love to read your thesis. Yeah. I'd love to read your thesis. 2-hour stream my ass, bro. It's midnight. We're not even halfway. We are more than halfway. Both dramas. Dude, you know, we are, to be fair. It's my birthday today, and unfortunately I have to work today. I'm watching your stream while working. Well, at least Mujan will help with entertainment. I'm glad. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Someone tell us your thoughts about the boys ending. Dude, it was really bad, man. It was really, really bad. Like some people wanted Homelander to win. I get that. He's just very entertaining. I get that. His story, honestly, like I saw some edits where they were trying to make him like the victim. Yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, no, he was meant to get this ending where he loses everything, right? He was. But for many seasons, they kept teasing him crashing out. Him just saying, I don't give a fuck. And just going on this rampage. Wait, let me show you guys this. And then we'll get back to this. Let me show you guys this real quick. Where's it at? Yeah. This is what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to see in the last season. Right here. This is all original footage, by the way, guys. No spoilers, I guess, to a certain extent. No spoilers, guys. There's no spoilers. But these were the vibes that I wanted in the last season. We didn't get them. I wanted him to crash out.
Look at the sky.
This was a scene in the show, right? Not this footage exactly.
He follows panic. Silence
it is analog horror, yeah.
Starlighters hide.
I wanted to see this. I wanted to see this in the final season. I wanted the stakes to get so high that the fight with Homelander would be high stakes. In the show, what the fuck did he really do, man? I wanted this. I wanted this.
Stay underground at all cost. If you see the red light in the clouds, run.
This is what I fucking wanted from the last season, god damn it. Oh, God.
The White House has fallen, I repeat. The White House
I wanted
has
this
fallen.
so bad.
Most major cities are on guard. Mort is lying. And more is true. Hide.
This is what I fucking wanted, bro. David, look what they did to my boy. They massacred my boy. Hey, Smokey, thanks for the membership. Yeah, so this is what we could have gotten. We didn't, unfortunately. Look at how many views it has. And all the comments kind of relate to what I'm saying. You know? This is what we should have had. But we didn't. Look, even he agrees. Even fucking Charlie agrees. Well, the boys' finale was bad. Yes, it fucking was. Yes, it was. Very unfortunate. I would say it genuinely might be on the same level. Well, almost. No, it's hard to beat Game of Thrones, but you know, it's definitely up there. You need to write a fanfic on the ending you wanted. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping from people at this point. I'm hoping there's like a fan ending or something. Cause yeah, we got fucked. It could have been done so much cooler. I don't have a problem with where the story went. The story itself, it just could have been done so much better. So much better. But I feel like they really reached the point where they were like, listen, we just want to end this. We want to move on to the spin-offs. We don't care. And this is a very big problem with certain directors and writers. It's like, it's what happened with Game of Thrones. They wanted to end Game of Thrones ASAP, the writers, to go and work on Star Wars. How did that turn out, right? They did such a terrible job. They didn't even get to like write for Star Wars. So yeah, unfortunate. All right, guys. I'm pretty sure all of you guys are back from the pee break. House of Cards is up there also. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. You just unlocked the core memory that should have not been brought back. Okay. Yes, that is horrendous. But at the same time, of course, we all watched House of Cards for Kevin Spacey, right? And you just removed him. Right. Invincible does The Boys better than The Boys in a way. In a way, yes. Although I say this all the time, the author of Invincible must hate Mark. Mark must be his least favorite fucking character. Because the dude can't catch a fucking break. Not even one day. Bro cannot wake up once. The Boys BL fanfic probably already exists. I did not need to read that. Mugen, give me a moment. Can I have a few more minutes to refill my water bottle? Bro, are we all in a cinema right now and we're all like waiting for each other? Sure, dude, go ahead. Don't forget to wash your paws, dude. Wow. Anyway, continuing. Whoever watches the VOD, I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely so sorry. Like, you usually expect some sort of a structure to my streams. I am so sorry, dude. Words cannot describe how apologetic I am. Wait, Mugen, my pizza isn't done yet. So, an animator at Bone Studio, which are the people who animate the anime, right, would post this on their Instagram. I hate Twitter. I hate TikTok. Bunch of insufferable, entitled, loathing, child-minded retards everywhere. Right? Of course, this person is posting this to like, you know, try to character assassinate him, saying, I'm tired. Can we unnormalize saying slurs? Right? So instead of actually addressing why he's pissed off, they just have a problem with the word retard, right? Look, man, here's my opinion, my very humble opinion on the matter. I don't think the word retard is a slur. I think that's really pushing the line. I think a lot of people get pissed off over it in regards to how some people might feel about it, right? I have heard people who are also like autistic or disabled or whatever say they don't like the word. Out of respect for some viewers I have that are disabled or whatever, I don't typically use that word. It's out of respect, but that doesn't mean I think it's a slur. You know, it's different. I think it's different. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's on the same level as a slur. That's my opinion, of course. But yeah, you know, I don't use it just specifically because I know I have viewers who might be disabled, autistic, whatever. And so if at least one of them or whatever feels like it's offensive, I try to take their feelings into account. But that doesn't mean I think it's a slur necessarily. Like, you know, it's not on the same level as other slurs, but that's my opinion. I'll have dinner while watching Platonically from Brazil. Hola. They say hola in Brazil, right? Yeah. I mean, you guys speak Portuguese there. Listen, I'm not stupid, okay? I don't think that Brazilians speak Brazilian. But yeah, what's up? I'm autistic and I use it too. Yeah, it's very polarizing. You know, you have some people who are autistic, disabled, whatever, who use it all the time and don't mind it. And you have people who are disabled, autistic, etc., that do find offense to it, right? So look, whatever, you know, I do use it just to not take any chances. I wouldn't want like a viewer of mine who is disabled, who might, for some reason, I don't know why, look up to me and see me use that word and you know, feel sad about it. That's why I don't use it. But still, even though I don't use it, I don't think it's a slur. That's my opinion. Yeah. Can we make unremarkable a slur? That's how a lot of my tests came back, and I was low-key offended and amused. Sure. You know what? Sure. Yeah. I'm down. I'm down. Yeah. I'm used to hearing it in the past. I didn't know it was counted as a slur. Yeah, look, some people do. Some people do. It's definitely over the last few years. There's been a movement that's been really pushing the idea that it's a slur, you know. And depending on who you ask, they might either agree or completely disagree. Whatever, bro. I'm not here to fucking weigh in that shit. I just don't think it's a slur, but I don't use it personally. I've already explained why. Have you seen Supernatural? It was expectable, in my opinion. I haven't watched Supernatural. No, I have not. But I've heard things about its endings. But then again, it had 15 seasons, right? So it had more time to flesh things out. It's different to 5 seasons, 8 episodes each, right? Very different. So unfortunate, man. God, they screwed it up so bad. Hey, Smokey, love from Australia. Thank you. Thank you. We got someone from down under. Down under. Oi. Thank you, Kat. Am I going to get demonetized for using that word? Anyway, yeah. It's okay, YouTube. I'm just pretending I'm Australian. I'm sure I get a pass. So, they were trying to make the animator look bad by saying that they're using a slur. Look, dude, slur aside, no one here is talking about... yeah. Actually, no, they are. Because this same person would say, by the way, I support what Gachiakute Twitter has done. Kei Urana deserved a talking to about her behavior with the black community. This is in reference to this, right? Yeah. Can we make job a slur? I'm baffled every time my family tells me about it. It already is. It already is. Hello? Have you not seen how many people censor the word job? So yeah, you know, they were making it seem like they were doing the right thing here by talking to her about it, like she had offended an entire race of people. The same animator who follows me on Twitter, hey, shout out Jovsky Animation, would also tweet, the sad thing is most of real fans aren't on Twitter, living a normal life away from toxic social media. So what Sensei mostly saw here are stupidity and harassment. I would have also left long ago if only work doesn't come from here. Right. So, you know, thing is, when people say that the people making this shit up, like they're making up this drama, are unemployed, they're not really exaggerating. Either they are unemployed or they're employed and have nothing to do afterwards, like when they come back home. It really isn't an exaggeration. And I guess the reason what really made me understand this is because a lot of you guys right now in chat are employed. Don't feel left out if you're not employed, okay? I know that the J word is now a slur, bro, you know? Sorry, I'm going to spell it out. I don't want to traumatize anyone, J-O-B. But all of you are employed. And I always see like drama and I'm like, man, you know, probably a lot of people know about it already. I make a video about it and everyone's like, dude, I have no idea this happened. I have a job. Oops, sorry, said it again, guys, forgive me. So yeah, these people are genuinely unemployed. And typically the loudest people online, the people who are making the internet a shitty place, are unemployed, which is why it's such a crisis. The unemployment levels in the US right now are bullshit. There are so many more unemployed people. It's just that they stop counting your unemployment after 12 months. On average, these days, if you want to find a job, it's 6 months. Even with experience, you need 6 months. This is the average right now. So imagine how many people are unemployed for more than 12 months that aren't counted in the unemployment anymore. So it's really bad right now. And the more unemployment goes up, we have AI to thank for that partly. The more unemployment goes up, the more you'll see dumbass drama like this. It's correlated. I'm convinced. I don't know. I can't reference a study. Bro, for entry level, you need 5+ years of experience. Here's the reality, guys. I don't want to ruin your day, but if you're entry level, you're not going to get hired. And if you have many years of experience, you're going to need a long time to get hired, period. People just don't want entry level anymore. The logic of the manager is simple. Look, I need an assistant. Why do I get an assistant if I can just get an AI agent to do it for me? I need a junior software engineer. Why should I spend my time giving this guy a salary and teaching him the job when AI can do what a junior software engineer does anyway, right? That's the logic. Are they right? Are they wrong? We'll see. We'll see in due time. Of course, creative work can't really be replaced with AI. A lot of people are finally understanding this slowly. For example, the Take-Two CEO, the company that owns Rockstar Games, in an earnings call, he straight up said, yeah, so I fired my head of AI intelligence because We can't do shit with AI, like things that we want to do, like creatively, game wise, you know? So there's that. But in other things, in South Africa, it has a 32.7 unemployment rate. The US, that's crazy, bro. That's insane. 32% is fucking crazy. But it's no wonder, right? Like the youth in South Africa is very, very, very like, what's the word? Like they've lost hope pretty much. Hopeless. Yeah. I've also seen, you know what? I've also seen like these protests of South Africans doing like these rallies saying, kick all the immigrants out, kick all the illegals out there taking our jobs. It's interesting how that's usually correlated with economic conditions and high unemployment, right? It's interesting how, because you would expect to see something like this in a first world country, but you're seeing that in South Africa too, which I don't know. I don't know if I'd consider it first world anymore because of the current corrupt government. My love for you is like diarrhea. I just can't hold it in. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Incredible. As a South African, almost every person I know has either immigrated or is trying to. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I found my hope by volunteering while unemployed. My current employer loved my volunteer word and hired me. Yeah, so word of mouth. That's always been the case, but not everyone has that. Not everyone has that. So either your dad or mom work in a really nice company and they can hire you, or you get word of mouth. Unemployment in France has always been bad. Even when I was a kid and we were studying about economics, they'd be like, France has the worst unemployment in Europe. France is the worst. It's like, I'm like, why? Do French people not like to work? Well, in France, you have this thing, you know, you have unemployment where you get the equivalent of your salary given to you for like God knows how long based on how long you worked. So a lot of French people, what they'll do, unironically, they'll work for a couple of years, then take a year off. They'll just take unemployment for a year, take a year off, travel the world, come back and continue, right? So they, of course, will count on unemployment. So that's why it's always perpetually high. It's always perpetually near 10%. It's because they always, like, so many of them do this. So many, and it's like, why not? 33% of your salary is going towards taxes anyway. So might as well reclaim those taxes with unemployment. Double your mental health. I got my job by being a Tolkien nerd during my job interview. Yeah, you know, this happens, man. This happens. This, it's interesting because it happens more often than you think, especially in creative fields. I know someone who had a pretty important position in production for the amazing animated shorts at Blizzard, right? When she was hired, she knew nothing about video games. She had worked in the creative fields though. And everyone liked her during the interview process, except the main boss of that division. He wasn't really too sure about her until he found out that she liked Star Trek. She got hired immediately. You know, it's just that fucking simple, bro. Sometimes it's so unfair and stupid and whatever. It's the dumbest thing ever. But the market hasn't changed much in that regard. If anything, now it's more important than ever to have connections. Otherwise, you're not going to find a job. Yeah, dude. You know, it's just that simple. Meg's Fantasyland, thanks so much for the 2 months. Just like that, dude. I mean, she was qualified, obviously. People liked her, but the final decision really came on to the main boss. And he wasn't sure about her. He wasn't sure if she was going to be the right fit because she doesn't play video games. But then he found out she liked Star Trek. He's like, all right, I love Star Trek. Welcome. Oh, they worked for Blizzard for 7 years. They were actually one of the founding members of Blizzard, dude. One of the founding members. No, I'm kidding. But they held a pretty high role. They actually got the sword after 5 years? So fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. If you work there for 5 years, you get a fucking custom forged sword with your name and everything. God, I used to find that so cool, man. Honestly, it is. Even to this day, I still find it cool. What other company does this? You work there for 5 years, you get a fucking sword. Of course, these days you'll most likely get laid off, but still, how awesome is that? Most places you work there for 20 years, they give you an espresso machine. I'm so sorry for all the VOD watchers. I'm so sorry. Anyway, my job doesn't have any cool perks at all. Yeah, most jobs are just cutting. But right now, you know, it just shifted. Again, politics are cyclical. Employment is cyclical too. 2021, you could ask the CEO to fondle your balls to get hired, and he would, Now the CEO can ask you to fondle his balls, and you probably would to get hired. Yeah, that's just how it works, unfortunately. So yeah, this dude would say this animator that works for Bones, that has worked on the Gachikuta anime, and it's true. You know, most people on this website are not the majority. They never are the majority. And you realize this once you actually go outside and talk to someone normal who actually works a job every day and everything, because you then realize, damn, like there's definitely like some sort of an out of touch element here. And there is. No one would make such a big deal. You know, like just imagine if you guys have a JOB, right? Okay. And you showed this reel to one of your friends that watch Gachikuta, they'd probably find it funny, right? No one in their right mind, let's not like, regardless of skin color, no one in their right mind would think, yo, that's kind of racist, actually. Why is he using leeks to symbolize dreads? No one would say that with a fucking job. So yeah. This right here is, again, someone else who was part of this whole like bullying wave against her, saying the Gachikuta fandom bullied Urana off the app. A lot of what I've seen has been respectful criticism. I don't know what this person has seen exactly, but it wasn't. If you see as an author, if you as an author can't learn from your mistakes when so many people tell you what the issue is, maybe you shouldn't be active online as much. Whatever you guys want to think, go ahead and think, bro. This person would say, we like your manga. We don't want anything negative for you. We just want to make you learn about the history of racism, black stereotypes, which are things that can still hurt black people now. So please do like Rudo and accept to learn new things. Someone would reply with, corn dogs. Y'all literally harassed her. Fuck off with that heart crap. And I want to really make it clear that there are so many different perspectives here. And I think this perspective here is very important. Holy fuck, stop speaking for us. We're tired of the black Gachikuta fans who are treating the Gachikuta mangaka like the battlegrounds of a new age civil rights movement. A loud ass embarrassing minority. Our ancestors would slap the fuck out of you soft days, right? So, and this is them quote tweeting something else, like where some person is like criticizing Kei Urana and then they admit, oh, I'm not even black, by the way, right? So this is someone, right, who happens to be black, who thinks that this is ridiculous. They don't want people speaking for them, et cetera, et cetera. And that's something that the US suffers from a lot, I think, right? It's something that the US suffers from a lot. And I'm talking about this from the perspective of someone who is, you know, technically a minority. When I lived there for 5 years, it got so annoying seeing people speak for me. It's so, oh my God, dude. It's like, you didn't even ask my opinion. And then when you try to give them your opinion, they're like, oh, you poor thing. You just misunderstand. You just, it's probably like this colonial brainwashing or something. I'll speak for you. Don't worry. It's like, what the I'm not a pet. So yeah, reasonable crash out, you know, reasonable crash out. It's just like, yeah, you know, like at least don't admit this, that you're not even part of the people you're speaking for, because that doesn't make sense. Look, if a huge majority of black people found this offensive, sure, let's talk about it, you know? Sure, let's see what's the problem. But we all know, anyone who's used this website for more than like a week knows that most of these people talking are minors and they have nothing to do with the person they're speaking for, okay? That's the problem. Many of these people are like 14 or something, unsupervised by their parents, who are probably, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're just starting shit for no reason. I can't imagine finding Twitter when I was 14. I can't imagine finding this website when I was like a teenager. I don't know. I'm so glad I didn't. Honestly, when I went on Twitter back then, I did try it. I did try this website because some of my favorite content creators were on there. I genuinely had no fucking clue how to use it. I was like, what the fuck is an RT? What the hell is a tweet? How do people look at my tweets? Like, I go to my feed, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was so confused. I genuinely had no idea how to use the website. Thankfully, because then I was like, all right, that's lame. See ya. Well, look, the thing with minority in the US at this point, I mean, anything's a minority, right? Like at this point, technically speaking, if you were to be someone Russian who fits the description of what an American is, right? Like they have white skin and everything. They're technically a minority, right? But still, like the only people that are not spoken for are mostly Caucasians in the US. They're the ones speaking for themselves. And then every other demographic is always somehow spoken for some reason. So yeah, it is annoying. It is. Like, I get that it comes from like the place of good intentions, or maybe these people are really trying their best to make it seem like they're good people when they're not. But the point is, it does more harm than good at a certain point. If you feel like you hold the microphone for an entire race, minority, country, whatever, and you have nothing to do with them, that's dangerous. That can get very dangerous. Because who gave you that permission? So yeah. Unfortunately, I always preferred Twitter's layout over any other social media. Bro, when I first made an account, it must have been like 2009 or something. I was a teenager. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you use this? Like, on Facebook, you made a post. You liked, you commented. Here it was like, reply, RT, like, this, that. It's like, what? I didn't use it though. I mostly just used it to like keep up with what people were tweeting about. Because there were some interesting things here and there. And some of them would interact. The interaction between content creators and fans back then was way more innocent. God, it was so much more innocent. It was like people answering questions and interacting with their fans. There was no dumb drama. Yeah, I'd say like the dumb drama really started in the last decade plus, like maybe early 2010s. I don't know. Probably, I'm not going to point fingers, but it probably came from Tumblr refugees. Maybe. I'm not going to point fingers. Probably. Twitter activists on their way to make sure every mangaka avoids interaction with overseas fans. Yep. True. More like, just avoiding Twitter. Because fortunately, she's still active on Instagram and other social media. But yeah, Twitter has this cool thing where interacting with fans is easy through hashtags, for example. But yeah, other websites have hashtags too now. So it's unfortunate. It is. Congratulations, you bullied the mangaka of your favorite series off of social media in the name of activism. What's the next step of your master plan? Well, we have an answer to that. They're stalking her Instagram now. Congratulations, bro. Okay, guys, let's predict what she will post to her story next. Stop before she shuts the door on Instagram too. So I close the door. This shit funny though. Gachikuta fans are already rushing to the author's Instagram after she deactivated her Twitter. They want to get in before she makes it private or limits interaction, so they're following her before she, cuts the follows. This is the kind of coordinated pressure that makes manga artists step away. This is not the first time this happens. This won't be the last time, unfortunately. This happens so many mangaka authors, so many artists, so many like very creative, talented individuals get on this website. Ask for a very simple thing. Like, they just ask for boundaries. And they just get this, like, it's the kind of website where you're like, if you put a boundary, it'll tempt certain people to want to cross it on purpose, to want to break it on purpose. That's the kind of website Twitter is. I think you'd have better luck saying the opposite, reverse psychology. Like, hey guys, yes, please repost my art. And people will be like, oh, okay, so you want that? Well, I guess I won't, But if you're like, guys, please don't repost my art. Fuck you. I'll repost and run it through AI. It is a contrarian's paradise. Yeah, it actually is. It's paradise for any at this point, anyone who has shitty intentions. Again, you had sites like this on the internet that allowed you to express these opinions elsewhere. But now those websites have no reason to exist anymore. I'm not saying all of 4chan is crazy, but usually, back in my day, if you wanted to express some crazy ass shit that would get you banned pretty much anywhere, you would go to 4chan. What reason do you have to go to 4chan now? Sometimes I scroll through my feed and I see someone saying, yo, I want to grape this person. And it's not even a censored tweet and it has like 10,000 likes, right? It's like, what's the point? This is the kind of stuff you could only say on 4chan before. Why am I seeing this on my feed with this many likes on Twitter? Because you can just say anything. That's it, really. So, how do we get here? I'd say this can really be compared to Waffle House. Waffle House, yes, Waffle House. You're probably wondering, Mujan, what the fuck? What does this have to do with Waffle House? This amazing restaurant that's open 24/7 that makes some really good food and has great staff. Well, personally, I haven't been to a Waffle House. It's definitely on my bucket list. I'd love to go. But if you don't know what Waffle House is, it's this chain that's open mostly in the East Coast of the United States. And it's known for its amazing service, food, etc. The fact that it's open 24 hours. But the fact that at this point, you expect fights to happen there. There's this energy there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the air conditioning. What's up, Reba? I thought this was a video. Nah, we're as a stream. Don't you see the live thing? Don't you see the little live icon in the thumbnail? The fight from Waffle House? Yes, somewhat. So I know where the segue is going. Hell yeah. So I don't know what it is in this restaurant. I don't know if it's like the air they breathe or something in the food, but this place is now known as a spot where people just fight. They'll fight between each other, or they'll fight the staff. And you know what the best part about Waffle House is? The staff fights back. All right? The staff fights back. Like if someone throws a chair at the staff will throw a fucking pan. They don't give a fuck. It's really, some of these Waffle House, I can't show this on stream, but some of these fights go crazy. So much so that at some point when Tekken 8 came out, people kept asking the game director at the time, Harada, please make a Waffle House level. And the guy was so confused. Why Waffle House? And he dived deep into this rabbit hole. And at some point he was like, you know what? I love the idea. Like, what the fuck is Waffle? Like, what the hell is this phenomenon, right? So Twitter at this point has the same expected environment as Waffle House. There's legit a whole ass 30-minute compilation of Waffle House fight. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought we were about to get the Waffle House sponsorship segue. That would be really cool, but I have no idea why they would want to sponsor someone like me. But if you guys are joining just now, just know, dude, I'm in contact with NASCAR. They expressed they want to fly me out to watch a NASCAR game. Okay, NASCAR race. I'm an idiot. Nothing set in stone yet, but very excited, and we might work together. I've already sent them a list of ideas on things we can do for a sponsorship. So, yeah. So that's a cool sponsorship to look forward to. Not quite Waffle House, but hey, it's something to look forward to. Do it. Ask for a car too. I don't think that's possible. You do know how much. You guys listen. You guys know how much NASCAR cars actually cost, right? Hundreds of thousands. They might look like shit boxes, but they cost hundreds of thousands each. You do know that, right? Man, I should do a fucking deep dive on NASCAR. Vlog maybe? Yeah, listen, if they invite me, I'm doing a vlog. For sure. If they invite me, I'm doing a vlog. I'm not going to show my face necessarily, but I'm going to do a vlog for sure. You guys are going to come with me if I go. The reason I'm talking about Waffle House is because the same expectation and environment is now on Twitter. Right? On Twitter. So there's this expectation now on this website that even if you come with the best of intentions, like the author of Gachakura, you want to interact with your fans, the expectation is to always fight over some of the dumbest shit imaginable. The expectation is that people will call you out and you're expected to call them back out, right? That's how this website works. If someone quote tweets you, you're expected to fight back. If someone calls you out, you're expected to fight back. It's just become this very messy ass, shitty version of this whole Waffle House phenomenon where you're just always meant to be on fight or flight. You're always meant to be aware of what's going on, about who's calling you out, and fight back. Same with YouTube too at this point. I wouldn't say it's that bad. I think YouTube, I've told this to my partner manager on YouTube actually. I've said this. I was like, the comment section is so important to me because it's one of the last places on the internet where people actually express their opinions without any weird intentions. It's so pure, like when you go to the comment section of the video, there's a reason everyone scrolls down. It's because they have something to do with the video and they typically add on to it, either in a humorous way, in an interesting way, in a factual way. But, there's no incentive to get monetized or whatever, like Twitter or the rest of the internet. So there's still that aspect of YouTube, which is really nice, which is why I love the platform so much. Fun fact, response teams like Red Cross send out teams based on which Waffle Houses are closed. They're always 24/7, 365. Closing means disaster. Oh shit, really? Damn. Yeah, Waffle Houses are actually also like when there was a tornado somewhere or a hurricane and everything was closed, Waffle House was still open. It's really it's insane what this little fucking restaurant, it became a backbone of their community. Yeah. So that's kind of like what it is. No, as in when someone calls you out on YouTube, they also wait for a reply so they can milk it as well. True. True. But fortunately, unlike Twitter, you can just ignore them and let them fall off. Waffle House Index. Why is it always Florida and a Waffle House? Why is it always Florida? How about we start with that question? Why is it always a Florida man? Why is it always, why can't it be a Connecticut man? Why can't it be a Mississippi man? Why is it always a Florida man wrestling with a fucking alligator or driving through a wall or some shit? Waffle House. All right, I'll look up Waffle House Index. Let's see. The Waffle House Index is a metric named after the southern U.S. restaurant chain Waffle House, known for its 24-hour, 365-day service. Because the restaurant chain is always open except in extreme circumstances, it has given rise to an informal but useful metric to determine the severity of a storm and the likely scale of assistance required for disaster recovery. The metric was coined by Craig Fugate in August 2004 after Hurricane Charlie. He was leading the Florida Division of Emergency Management. The metric is unofficially used by Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to inform disaster response. That's crazy. So there are 3 levels: green, yellow, and red. Red is restaurant is closed, severe or critical damage, flooding, or other forms of destruction that discontinues operations. Yellow, limited menu. Power is either unavailable or supplied by a generator, or food supplies are running low. Full menu, restaurant has power and damage is minimal or absent. That is incredible. And it just so happens that they're open in the areas in which the hurricanes are most likely to hit in the US, which is east, south, southeast. Internal use only. The fucking Waffle House Index is meant to be internal use only. It's not classified, but they're making it seem that way. That's funny. It's like, hey, listen, do not fucking show this to anyone. The Waffle House Index stays classified under FEMA guidance. If you leak this shit, it's a felony. You understand? So yeah, pretty cool. Normal hour to be live. How is this possible? What do you mean? What do you mean normal hour? Yes. What time is it? 12:46 a.m. My dad worked storm search and rescue. He did Katrina, Sandy, most of the big ones until he passed 4 years ago. May he rest in peace. That must have been a crazy ass job. The boys' last fight. What the fuck is this, bro?
Guys, true hero. 哇，感谢经典时尚 ，Thank you, bro. Guys, true hero. Fuck you. God.
But in the last episode, you guys know how fucking popular Homelander is in China? They legitimately love Homelander in China and Soldier Boy. They fucking love them. I've seen so many AI edits coming out of China where Homelander's just interacting with the local population, eating Chinese food and shit. Hey, Mujin, what would you eat at Waffle House? I don't know. Probably a waffle. I would want to sample the whole menu. But yes, it's on my bucket list. I want to go to a Waffle House. I do. I have to. And maybe I'll witness a fight for myself. Maybe. And I'll record it. Maybe. And I'll share it. Maybe. Who knows? At this point, it's a touristic attraction. A Waffle House mostly reduced to rubble in Mississippi after Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Holy shit, man. It wasn't even made out of wood. It was made out of tile and bricks. That shit just got, oh my God. Well, wow, these seats though. Who bolted on these seats? That's what I want to know. Damn. They need to bolt my toilet. I'll just sit on my toilet during a hurricane if I need to. Yeah. Would have been funnier if a guest was still sitting there. I definitely have an interesting way of what do you find funny? What's the menu? Yeah, listen, we already talked about this. Listen, bro, I wish the author the best. I wish Urana the best, bro. I wish her the best. I hope she can keep doing what she loves doing without having to interact with dog shit ass fans. I think it was unwarranted, okay? Like even objectively, it was so stupid. Waffle House menu. Yeah, let's just go to the. We were just on the website for pickup. I wish. Food.
Kalafire Death Cheered X500.
Thank you. Wow,
Have
thank
you
you.
heard of the current German drama? The German creator Jay Riddle makes a video series to restore the reputation of the German creator Annie Die Enter, aka Annie the Duck. If German is not a problem, I can recommend it.
German's definitely a problem. But I saw this. Were you the one who posted this in Discord? Guys, if you don't know, if you don't know my Discord, you can go to a channel called Video Suggestions and leave me suggestions on what to talk about. Yeah, I saw that. It just seems very complex. It just seems like a rabbit hole that is quite hard to dive into since I don't know the language. But it seems really interesting. It's always interesting when someone is blamed of something and then they, it's proven that they're actually innocent. This actually recently happened to that one Splatoon player that was outed as a serial stalker and harasser. The person released a 30-page doc on him. He released a 130-page doc and pretty much mostly disproved everything with proof. Also, kind of like the Turkey Tom stuff back when you had his exes go to kiwi farms and accuse him of being like abusive or whatever the fuck, and he just disproved that shit with texts. It's always interesting. It's always interesting. But that sucks. I would never want to be in the shoes of Turkey Tom, even though he was able to prove everything. He still had to go through all these messages and expose like so much from his private life just to prove that he's innocent. That's the problem with these things. So yeah, he did it in the best way possible, but still wouldn't want to be in his shoes. Damn, their menu looks good. Hash brown bowls, sandwiches. Yo, Texas melts. That looks really good, man. Ooh, that looks nice. 600 calories, not bad. Not bad. Pies? This is a true fucking diner type place, man. Triple chocolate pie? Oh, God. Man. I see why Queso likes Waffle House. Didn't he work there? Didn't Queso work Subdivide Justinia? Did Queso... Wait, what the fuck was that? Did Casey get an abortion? Who the fuck is Casey? Who the fuck? Anyway, why is that? Anyway, did Queso work at Waffle House? It's part of the Queso wiki. That's incredible. That's genuinely incredible. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What is that image? Wait, how can I? It just got added recently. What the fuck is that? Oh, a fan edit of Queso, which is a popular meme. What the hell? Anyway. Queso's profile has Queso's Twitter profile has Queso standing next to a Waffle House. Oh, he didn't work there. He just used to eat there a lot and would always get embarrassed because all the employees knew him from how much he ate there. This also happens to me sometimes. Typically, when I find a place I really like, I just keep going there until I get bored of it. So at a certain point, yes, employees are typically like, the usual? Uh-huh. Yeah. At some point, I went to this fucking bougie-ass steak place so many times that they literally created a loyalty discount for me. It was like, what? You're giving me 10% every time I come. They're like, yep. You come here all the time. I'm like, what? Yeah, they created a 10% discount for me. Yeah, it was crazy. But been a while since I went there. Been a while. Because I got bored of it. Yeah, I got bored of it. The Mugen discount, dude, I don't go around telling people what I do for a living. I don't. Typically, when someone asks me, hey, what do you do for a living? If it's like at a party or something, I'm like, oh, I work in entertainment. But if it's a friend of mine, I just can't lie to them. I'm like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Like, nice. So at that point, they'll either say nice and then leave or change the topic, or they'll be like, what's the name? So what's the name? I'm like, I prefer to stay anonymous or whatever. And then they always pull that fucking line out, which is, but I want to subscribe and support you. And then I'm like, dude, I can't say no now. I'll look like an asshole. So I'm like, it's called Mujin, Mujin. And I was like, this is you? this is you right here. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me. A friend of mine tried to watch one of my videos and she was like, this isn't your real voice, right? I was like, what? Like your voice on the YouTube. This isn't you use a voice changer. I'm like, what? No, that's my real voice. Like that's actually me. She's like, I don't know. You don't really sound like that IRL. It's like, yeah, if I'm speaking like this IRL, because I'm, more mellow, it doesn't mean this isn't me. I'm like, I'm more upbeat about it. She was convinced I was using a voice changer. She was convinced that I was like pirate software, making my fucking voice sound like this. Guys, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I was part of the founding members, actually. Yeah, I don't actually. No, that's not me. Professional work voice versus outside voice. No, it's just like I'm talking in a fairly loud way right now. Okay, I'm talking in a fairly loud way. If I talk like this outside, it'll be rude. I'm kind of loud right now. I have a headset on, noise canceling headphones, which make me speak even louder. When I'm outside, I really like to keep my voice down. Your impression somehow got even better. Hey, I've had time to practice. Do a deep voice in French platonically. So yeah, maybe I'm pirate software, guys. Maybe this is just my second persona. But yeah, typically one thing I don't like when I'm outside is hearing people speak very loudly. American tourists do that a lot. Like they will invite you to their conversation against your will. Like this one time I sat in a restaurant and I just straight up was just pulled into this conversation about some dude that was being weird about dating his girlfriend for like fucking 30 minutes. It's like, I don't want to be a part of this, but there's nothing else to listen to, and I don't have my headphones with me. So Americans have that talent. Not all of them, but they do. They have that talent where they will I don't know if they like the idea of bringing you into a conversation you never asked to be a part of. But yeah, I try to be the opposite. Some people have no volume. I had a friend who had no volume. I meet up with him. I'd be like, hey, man, what's up? He'd be like, yo, man, nice to see you. I don't know if he had like a listening problem or an ear problem or something, but he was just really like always active and energetic. But that means whenever we sat down at like Chipotle or some shit to talk about something, well, whatever we talk about now, everyone in this restaurant is going to know because you're loud as fuck. So that's why she might have thought that I use a different voice, because I speak in a very normal, low volume voice when I'm outside, So yeah, must have been Southern. No, very rarely do I hear Southerners in Paris that are speaking like this all the time. Oh, you mean like the friend of mine? No, he wasn't Southern. No, it's just like, the typical like California voice where they talk like this, right? That typically it has like a frequency that you can hear it like from a fucking mile away. It's really interesting. I was able to cook, eat, and clean dinner during your stream. Thank you, King Platonically. You're very welcome. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5. We do not speak like that. I'm not saying all of you. I'm just saying like, what's it called? What's it fucking called? You know how Kim Kardashian speaks? It's called like, what is it? Like also like, that meme with what's she called? Miley Cyrus? Vocal fry. Yes, vocal fry. So of course, not all Americans are like that. But the ones who do have vocal fry, the ones who do speak like this, they're the loudest. Even though it's not their intention, but they're the loudest. Like they will legitimately take over an entire restaurant's atmosphere every time they start speaking. Is there like an example? Actually, no. What if I do vocal fry Miley Cyrus? Yeah. Miley Cyrus et le vocal fry. Why is it in French, bro?
The journey is usually the part that you remember.
See, bro, like that shit, man, it's crazy.
Silays is cheered X100.
I don't know if it's because she's a singer.
If you say deep in the heart of the Texas out loud, you will activate all Texans in a mile radius like they were sleeper agents just waiting to hear it.
You know what, dude? If it ends up working out and NASCAR invite me to a NASCAR race, I sure as hell hope it's in Texas. I do. But honestly, I'm down for anywhere else. But I do hope it's in Texas. I do. I want to go to a fucking proper Texas barbecue. I'm going to eat the entire fucking state, bro. I want to eat, and then go down south, maybe to San Antonio, and eat some amazing. My favorite food's Tex-Mex by a mile, by a long shot. The voice tone changes when speaking different languages, and I finish my pizza. Hell yeah, on the pizza, and true. Some people even say that they have different personalities with languages, which is, somewhat true. Somewhat true, yes. It's subconscious. It's subconscious. It's like it's just like you're just used to speaking a language in certain situations, and so when you start speaking it, you just kind of go into that mode, right? And it's also like different mannerisms in that. Let's say, like, I don't know, you speak Spanish and you're from Ecuador. And in Ecuador, there's a very certain way of speaking and acting. Like, you're way more open, you hug everyone, you kiss everyone on the cheeks, whatever. When you start speaking that language, you all of a sudden become very much more open. Even though you might be in the US, you might be in Europe, whatever. It just is subconscious, right? So yeah, I do act in a certain way with English. With French, since it was a language I mostly learned at school, I'm more reserved. Because French, for me, I only used it in like professional educational settings. And when it comes to my native language, I'm a potty mouth. That's a different story. Absolutely different story. The guy that plays Luffy in the LA was talking about how he's way more Luffy coded when he speaks English. Oh, really? Interesting. I thought you were American. What? No. Guys, we have someone who just got that revelation. Fucking 07's in the chat, bro. Salutes in the chat, bro. Someone who just realized that I'm not American, not Canadian, and now has to start wondering where I'm from. Ooh, speaking of citizenship and passports, wait. I found something really cool I wanted to show you guys. I literally fucking made a category just for it the other day. And after that, I guess we can end. Almost 3 hours. I thought the stream was going to be like under 2 hours. Look at this. Look, I called it cool. It's right here. Cool. The Haudenosaunee passport. I didn't even know this was a thing. And I found it. I was so excited the other day. You probably never heard of this shit. Never. Come on, I bet none of you here fucking heard of this shit. Look at that beauty. You've never seen this in your life. You probably never will. It's a very, 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 very rare passport. Not really recognized by many places, but it's part of the Six Nations. So this is a Native American passport, right? So I'm pretty sure Wikipedia has more info. No, it doesn't. Thank you. It's part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. There was a map. I had found like a map. Yeah, so like it's this part of the US right here. Somewhat. The Six Nations. So it has Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Tuscarora, Oneida, and Mohawk. These are like 6 different Native American tribes. So this passport, interestingly enough, right, it's not recognized by the world. You can't use it to like go to most places. However, it did pass through like a few countries legally. Of course, they consider them somewhat American. But yeah, it's this little area of the US. It kind of stretches a little bit into Canada. Right here, right? So really interesting. If you guys don't know, if this is your first stream, I have like this autistic obsession with passports. So really cool. And the Wikipedia page gives us more info on where it was accepted. Validity for various purposes has been questioned. And the larger issue is of Haudenosaunee sovereignty. So of course, when it comes to like Native American reservations in the US, it's actually such a fascinating topic, especially for someone who's not American. But they have like their own laws on these reservations, but they all have to comply to federal law, not state law, which means a state policeman cannot go and enforce laws there. They have their own laws that they enforce. But if they have a federal warrant, they can go there because at the end of the day, they're under the sovereignty of the US, right? So they had gone. So it's not accepted in Canada. And in 2010, there was a delegation of Kanawake, Mohawk tribe, pretty much, that went to an environmental conference, and they were unable to return to Canada on the passport. So as I said, it stretches into Canada. So they went to the US and then couldn't go back to Canada. And they got stranded in El Salvador for several weeks before they were allowed under escort to transit under the US. But I'm pretty sure. Wait, a Cree man was able to enter Sweden on a homemade Cree passport in 1977? What does that look like? Whoa, damn. This is prehistorical. Where's the fucking article? Whoa, where is it at? Where's that fucking... So cool, by the way. Oh, there it is. Sweden accepted Cree's passport. Interesting. Very interesting. Unlike the gold-lettered blue Canadian passport, Plain's document has a simple brown cover. Inside is a hand-printed in English and Cree. Wow. But the lettering is so delicately done that it appears to have been machine printed. That's incredible, dude. That's awesome. Ottawa, silent on kidnapping. Dude, these old newspapers are so cool. Texas Instruments, back when they only made calculators. A rare event celebrated a 5th anniversary. Wow. Look at this. $66. Back to school means top quality, great selection, and down-to-earth prices. $40 for a calculator. Yo, 1977 was crazy. That's quite expensive for the time. Half price, suits, jackets. What is that, 15 cents? Oh, broken lines of quality. Oh. Interesting. These are so cool to see the old prices and stuff and what was going on. It reminds me of like the newspapers in Red Dead Redemption, kind of. Mujan, a little off topic, but I joined an UMA Discord a few days after some drama started. I don't even know what has happened in there, but it looked like something you might look at, like the Discord itself or the UMA community. There's a difference. So yeah, this passport, as far as I'm aware, got accepted maybe like a couple of times, one of them being in Israel. Yeah, July 2018. This is the most recent one. Oh no, in Ireland. The most recent time this got used was in 2022. 2022. Yeah, guys, join the Discord if you haven't yet. For sure, for real. Yeah, so really interesting, right? So now you learned something new. I don't know how many of you knew that this was a thing. Have you seen the alien passport? Alien? What? Oh. Oh. Yeah, a few countries... a few countries have that. Have something like that. I'm pretty sure the Netherlands has something like that too, where it's like... if you got in... Yeah, Denmark as well. Denmark, Estonia, etc., etc. Alien passports, I don't know if I'd count them as passports. Like, France has something like that too. It's not called an alien passport. It's called a travel document. It's mostly for refugees. And it just says like, so it's kind of a passport, but it says this is a like identification for travel for a refugee. According to the convention signed on the 20th of July, 1951. So this is mostly like for one, like you get it. It's like a passport kind of, but it doesn't have the strength of a French passport. So they can't go anywhere visa free. They have to get a visa to where they're going. But yeah, that is a thing that exists. It's hard to get out of refugee status as far as I understand, but eventually you can. It does take half a decade or so, and it does entail getting a job or whatnot. Well, you know, Estonia calls it an alien's passport. In the US, any and all language referring to foreigners, they always call them aliens. To be fair, France calls them étranger, which means stranger. So in France, you're either French or you're a stranger, right? It's right here, étranger. Yeah, you know, technically, I'm a stranger, yeah. But the US, in all their language, referring to immigrants, referring to anyone who's non-American, non-green card holder, they're referred to as aliens, right? So when I was there, anytime there was a document that involved me, I was always referred to as an alien. So I was like, wow, didn't know I was an extraterrestrial. That's cool. Yeah, that's just how it is. Stranger as in form of foreigner, yeah, you know. Japanese refer to foreigners as gaijin. Turkish people refer to strangers as yabancı, right? So every country has a way to refer to them. You can take it as a derogatory term, or you can just accept it's just how they do it. You know, there's no offense tied to it, but every country does. I don't know if the reason why Estonia Portuguese is estrangeiro. Yeah. Yeah. So that's legit what French people call it, you know, étranger. It's the same thing. Estrangeiro is the same thing. In Spanish, it's extranjero. Yeah, same thing. Came into live, heard Estonia, XDM Estonian. Yeah, we're just talking about some passports because I have an autistic obsession with passports. I was showing everyone the Haudenosaunee passport. Yeah, guys, listen, I don't know how many of you knew this existed. I didn't. I discovered it. I was like, whoa, really cool. What's really cool about this isn't the fact that it exists, because there are many passports that exist out there that are not valid. What was really cool about this is the fact that it did get accepted by Ireland and Israel. I'm just excited about Ireland, to be honest, because so Ireland isn't part of the Schengen agreement, which means if you have like a French visa for tourism, you can't go to Ireland with it. You can go to any other European country, but still it counts as the European Union. And Ireland typically is way more open to underdogs, let's just say, because of their history with Great Britain, right? It makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah. Should I try Super Chat? There is something I want to tell Mujan. He's partly responsible for inspiring me to become a VTuber. No need to donate, and I'm really glad. It means a lot. I came back from a shower. How did we get from Waffle House to passport? What about Soviet passport? Here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fucking fact. Speaking about Soviet. The Yugoslavia passport, right? This used to be a thing back when Yugoslavia was a thing. Very simple, very pretty, right? Very, very simple, very pretty. Here's something really interesting. The Yugoslavia passport, even though Yugoslavia is no longer a thing, did not have an expiry date. So technically speaking, if you still have it, technically, it is still valid today, right? It's still valid today. There's no expiry whatsoever. Of course, you know, the whole point of a passport is representing a state, and that state no longer exists. But still, technically, okay, if we're gonna use the fucking nerd emoji and be annoying about it, it's still valid, right? Really interesting. Do you have a favorite passport design? Was it the Turkmenistan passport? No, it was not. No, it was not at all. What was it? Was it Kazakhstan? No, it was Uzbekistan, right? It was Uzbek. No, god damn it. Which one was it? Fucking hell, whatever. Let's just go to passport index. Where's it at? Very easy to spot. Kyrgyzstan. Fucking hell. Yeah, I really like this passport. It's really cool. Kyrgyzstan is really, really cool. It's such a creative passport. I love it. I love the squares. It's very artistic. It's like it like attracts your attention. If there's another one, also the Brazilian one's really pretty. Also very artistic, you know, very, very creative. You see it a lot in France. A lot of Brazilians come here. What else? What else do I really like? I like the New Zealand one as well. Those sleeves are very pretty. They're also on the back. Usually you don't see anything on the back, but you see them on the back too, which is very specific. I like the Mongolian one too. Very creative. It's very traditional, right? It really like emphasizes their culture, which is very, very cool. Always nice, because a passport represents a country. It's always cool to see that. What else? Yeah, I'd say those are like the ones that really like come to mind first. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind first. Really, really pretty. Yeah. Mujin, I'm going to collect passports. Now it's all your fault. I actually found a blog of someone who collects rare passports. And he even had passports from like medieval times. And at the time, they were just a letter with a stamp of the king. Froggy, thanks so much for the 10 gifted. Much appreciated. Thank you. And also he has like some historical ones. So that was really, really cool. I don't remember the name though. Smoothly, thanks so much for rating with a party of 21 people. I'm close to ending the stream, but you know, yeah, thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. I'm talking, we talked about drama already. Now I'm talking autistically about passports because that's something I'm autistic about. Yeah, A lot of passports these days keep the design simple, I guess, for ease of making them, you know. Kurif, thanks so much for another 10. Gipberry, thanks for moving from fucking Twitch to YouTube. What the fuck? What the hell? Thank you. Thank you, Gipberry. Kuriv, thanks again. Seriously. My country's passport's so boring. What's your country? What's your country?
Silays is cheered X100, deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Yeah, of course, this one's very iconic. You see it all the damn fucking time. Okay? There's a lot of Americans in Europe. You see it all the damn time. Brazilian passport is one of the most valuable because you go to many countries without a visa. Yes, I've already talked about this. South American passports are very, very strong. You'd think, why? There's so many cartels and violence. How are they strong, Mujin? Well, it's because they export a lot and have very valuable resources. So many countries have a reason to give them strength, part of their agreements. But also, at the same time, many of these countries are banking on the fact that South Americans are poor and therefore can't travel, even if they have a strong passport. So there's always this dilemma. You're always, for most passports on the planet, you're always in this dilemma of, my passport's really strong, I'm broke, or I have money, but my passport sucks. It's always this dilemma between the two, except for some first world countries. But that's the thing. Poland's passport also kind of mid. No, that's Austria. Yeah. Poland. Let me just search it up, bro. And yeah, this is an actual passport. You know, there's a ranking system. I've already showed this to you guys. Ranking system of best passports based on visas and stuff. It's such a fucking autistic thing I'm into, bro. It's so weird when I talk about it. And yes, if you subscribe to Stacked on the Insomniac tier, there's a 1-hour video where I just talk about passports. Silas says, thanks so much for the 3 gifted subs. Yeah, so there's a ranking. If we explore and also you can see destinations. This is really interesting too, by the way. So here you can see how many you can select the country and see what countries are allowed to go there without a visa. And here's what's really interesting. There's only one country on the planet that doesn't allow anyone to come in without a visa. Only one. I don't know if you know what that is. I'll give you a few seconds to guess. 3, 2, 1. All right, whatever. It is Turkmenistan. Not a single fucking country can go to Turkmenistan without a visa. Period. None. Doesn't matter if you're Russian, American, European, none. All red. The only people who can go to Turkmenistan without a visa are Turkmenistan citizens. That's it. Every single one needs a visa. Very tightly controlled country, ran by a royal family. I'm not going to say anything bad about it because I might visit one day, but you know. Yeah, and they also don't allow dual citizenship because they don't even want you to come in here with another citizenship. They want you to either be Turkmenistani, period, or not. Because they're very, it's a very authoritarian society, one could say. Yeah, so that's also another interesting fun fact. But yeah, when it comes to, wait, let me check the Polish passport real quick. I think I remember what it looks like. I think there's like some sort of a bird on there, right? Yeah, there is some sort of a bird on it. Why did it do that? I'm clicking on it. Whatever. Point is, there is some sort of, it's okay. The Polish passport's okay. There's way worse out there, okay? Like, what is this? You know, like, what the fuck is that for Cabo Verde? What is that? Like, this doesn't tell me anything about your country. I think a good passport artistically represents something about their country, right? So even Fiji right here is representing, like, you know, their ancestors, right? Like their traditional clothing, the fact that they were fishermen, et cetera, their coat of arms. That, in my opinion, makes a good passport. So a lot of South American passports leave a lot to be desired. Brazil is an exception. One of the worst ones is the Central America passports, because it's literally just them saying where they are on the fucking map. So you have El Salvador like this. Yeah, you have Nicaragua like this as well. Like, come on, man. You can do a better job. Hire someone, please. Right? What does the German passport look like? Well, here is the Austrian one, Reichspass. The German one, it's fairly straightforward. It's from what I remember. I can't see it right now. It's like somewhat of a red color. Where's it at? Where's it at? This is the French one. So recently, there's been like this unofficial guidance for European passports that they have to be somewhat red. It's unofficial. It's not like, hey, you have to, otherwise we kill you. But it's an unofficial guidance. So that's why like so many of them are the same color now. Which is interesting, I guess. I don't know if it's yeah, most European ones are reddish. Yes. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Germany. Yeah, so as you can see, it's you know. Can't fucking open it in a new tab. This website can use some work. Yep, just clicked it. It's not opening. Yeah.
Midnight Marshy cheered X100. Sometimes, people forget how amazing they are. Here is your reminder, everyone.
So true.
Less
so
than
true.
3.
Yeah, here it is. Europäische Union. Union. Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Reichspass. Thanks so much for the 100 bits. And yes, very, very cute message. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so most European passports are going to be red-ish, just a shade of red. Unofficial guidance. That's what they're sticking with. Some of the best countries are in, I mean, some of the best designs are somewhat, for some reason, in Central Asia, like Kyrgyzstan and Mongolia. Very, very, very pretty. Some of the worst are in Central America. It's like, what the fuck? Come on, you can do a better job. This is interesting. Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea has a nice passport. But yeah, you know, it varies. It varies. Some of the weirdest colors, I guess. There's no like really a big standout color, except maybe Vanuatu. Vanuatu is definitely a standout color. It looks like... I know this because I watched Bald and Bankrupt. So many interiors in Belarus during the Soviet Union used this color for some fucking reason. They love this color.
Adidas_Ultra Boobs cheered X100.
I love your name, Adidas Ultra Boobs. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much for the 100 bits. Yeah, the UK passport. No, the UK. I actually like the UK passport. I do. The problem is it's such poor printing that it just gets scraped after like less than a year. Right. This is a complaint I've seen from so many people. But otherwise, it's a pretty one. I like it. I like the coat of arms and everything. It's cool. And there's some French on there too. Can't find it here though. I'm probably blind. Let me see. Well, Netherlands, it's okay. A lot of European passports are lame. I mean, even the French one can look better, but it's okay. The République Française coat of arms is pretty cool. Yeah, so like it's pretty. There's even some French here, guys. You didn't know this, but as much as British people want to say they hate French people, there's French on their fucking passport. Okay? Dieu est mon droit. God and my right. Literally written in French. It's written in fucking French, bro. Like, give me a more exposed moment, okay? This is legitimately them caught in 4K. They are French weebs. They like France. They just don't want to admit it. They're tsunderes, bro. Because why the fuck would they have French, dude? You know? That's just the truth. That's just the truth, man. And I think this is Latin. Honi something. Pense, yeah.
Noxola cheered X100. Mujin, have you seen the inside pages of the Canadian passport?
Yes, I have.
They're pretty nice.
Yes, I have. They're pretty nice. You know another passport that's really nice on the inside? Switzerland. Switzerland has a very, very nice passport on the inside. Yeah, again, don't ask me how I know this. Anyway, there's some really rare British colonial passports that were made specifically for their overseas territory. Rare overseas passport. I don't know if I can find it just by Googling it. Oh, this one. Holy shit, that's rare. Zanzibar Protectorate. Can't see it because it's on Instagram, but Zanzibar Protectorate, for example. There's a lot of interesting ones like this.
Midnight Marshy cheered X100. The trick to enjoying life is to watch Mujin stream on Twitch.
I don't know if YouTube would agree with that, but yeah, if you're enjoying life, then awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of rare ones like that typically overseas territory passports will say British passport, but then under it, they'll say the territory. There's still some that exist today, okay? And they're not easy to find because those people don't travel much and it's very hard to naturalize. But for example, This right here. I bet you've never seen this before. Cayman Islands, still an overseas territory of the British, still has its own passport. Very hard to naturalize in the Cayman Islands. You have to have a job, you have to be paid a specific amount of money, you have to live there for 10 years, you have to apply, etc., etc. It's quite complex. But what it shows on the inside, instead of saying just Great Britain or Kingdom, United Kingdom, whatever, it says British Overseas Territory. Grenada also has that too. Grenada, also very hard to get it. Unless you've already lived there. No, not this one. No, not Grenada. Sorry. Grenada is not an overseas territory. It's a Caribbean island. What was it? Gibraltar. Yeah, I don't know how I can confuse the two. Gibraltar. Gibraltar also has that. It's very interesting. It's not put on the bottom like most other overseas territory. It's put on the top. Gibraltar. Yeah. Yeah. It has its own. Typically, overseas territories do. They do. You just don't see them much because those people don't really travel that much. They're typically not really rich, right? This was back when it was a colony. Like, how cool is that? The Brits were some of the first people to have incorporated passports because they traveled so much in the sea, and they held full control over the seas and the global economy. They were the second financial hegemony. First one was the Netherlands with the Dutch East India Company. Then came the British, and then came the U.S. after World War II. So it makes sense. It makes sense as to why they had passports so early on. But yeah, they have so many rare passports come from the British because they have colonial passports. They have passports of overseas territories that are no longer overseas territories. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. They're from Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Who are? Because Saint Vincent is they have their own passport. It's part of CARICOM, which is the Caribbean islands. You have Saint Kitts and Nevis. Oh, your parents. Oh, cool. You have Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda. Yeah. And also you have Barbados, and you also have, yeah, but that's mostly like the Caribbean. Like, they have like an alliance. You also have Trinidad and Tobago under. But yeah, it's just a very interesting world, dude. I don't know. I just like the fact that so many of these documents have so much history associated with them, especially when you come across like a passport collector. I'm not a collector myself, but I know some are, and they collect old passports of like people they've never met before because you see stamps on there and their history. I saw someone like selling some. They like, one of them was selling like a fucking Nazi era German passport for like 400 euros. I thought it was pretty fucking low price for something like that. But on there, you see stamps. Whenever they enter Germany, you see the fucking swastika. Whenever they left, you see like other things too. It's really interesting, right? Like, you just get to, and through these movements, you get to kind of track back what they were, what they did, where they conducted business, right? So yeah, you have a lot of passport collectors out there, but they typically stick to themselves. None of them will talk so openly about it like me, because I do come off as crazy when I know so much about something that most people deem useless. Is it legal to own one? Dude, did you know that? So near the end of Nazi Germany, the post offices had so many stamps that to this day you can still find them, and they're dirt cheap. They're dirt fucking cheap. You can I'm sure we can find one now. Yep. You know, these are, you can find them on eBay. They made so many that even almost 100 years later, this shit's cheap as hell. Yeah. So is it legal to own one? In Germany, maybe no. But outside, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Don't worry, we adore your passport, autism. That's why we all platonically love each other over here. And one day I'll tell you guys about my passport. Yeah, one day. One day. Before 1948, Korea was one. Oh yeah, like before the war. I don't know if they had a passport. Actually, South Korea opened up to the world, I believe in 78 or something, when they hosted the first Olympics in the country. Olympics, Korea. 1988. This was very significant because part of the deal to allow them to host the Olympics was that they would finally open their country to the world. Before that, it was closed. You had like no business going there, period. But in 1988, it was a turning point because that's when foreigners came for the first time. And so if you're one of the first few that went there, you had opportunity because you were able to establish a business, you were able to make contacts, you were able to work maybe in import-export and in supplying and whatever. And a lot of people got rich because of this. So I wouldn't really bank on the fact that they had an old passport, Korea unified passport. You know, no such thing. Only like fan creations and stuff. Do you find your passport design pretty, Mujan? I'm not going to give you clues. I'm not. It's very easy to tell which is pretty and which isn't here. So, but time will, it'll, you know, the day will come. They will come. Sri Lanka is an interesting passport. I like that. Again, I think if the design includes like traditional stuff from your country, that's awesome because just the first page itself, just the cover can tell a lot about where you're from, about what, you know, what your country holds dear, about how your people dress, how, you know, et cetera, et cetera. That's interesting. Yeah. This made me realize there's not a single country starting with W. True. X as well. True. Every letter except W and X. That's so true. Usually there's like this question I see people asking on TikTok. They go up to strangers, they're like, yo, can you tell me one country that starts with the letter Y? Some people will say all sorts of shit. There was even one person that said Yugoslavia at some point. Yeah, try telling that to someone in Bosnia. But there's a couple. There's Yemen to start, and that's it. Yeah, there's actually just one. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, there's only one that starts with Y. There's not that many variation. There's really just a few letters that are very popular. I can't find a passport before Korea split because there is none. Most likely there is none. If a country had international business, then they would issue one. If they didn't and stuck to themselves, there's no reason to have issued one. This is why the British have one of the first versions of a passport for international travels, and others don't because they were international. I don't know, like a very old Spanish passport, maybe. There's one from 1964. I mean, passports used to be just pieces of paper like this. You know, they there wasn't much. It was really about entry and exit. Like, hey, we just want to know that you're here. This is 1964. That's really cool. Spanish passport. Yeah, that's definitely cool. That's definitely cool. But for the most part, back then it was so much easier to immigrate. It was so much. Well, it was hard in terms of integration because you didn't have online resources. You didn't have like friend groups or whatever the fuck. You didn't have Tinder, but legally speaking, it was easy. More rules got made over time. Now it's very hard to immigrate, but at least integration isn't that hard since we're mostly raised with a globalist mindset. According to Google, Wales is the only one. Wales? Like what? Wakanda? There's no such thing as Wakanda, bro. No such thing. What do you think about South Africa's design? South Africa. So many S's. South Africa. It's okay. It's okay. It's, yeah, I mean, it has what I would expect. You know, it has some stuff. It could be better though. I feel like you could have like Republic of South Africa. I don't know if you're required to have it in 2 languages. No, I think you do. You can have République d'Afrique du Sud. You can have both of these on top. And you could make this bigger in the middle. That would be better, I think. Yeah. I'll leave you guys with one more fun fact. If there's any of you here that are from a country... Okay, I'm going to check out the Welsh passport. Then I'm going to tell you the fun fact. Welsh. This is fan made though. This is fan made though. Is it? No, it's not. Wait, actually? I didn't even know this was a thing. No, it's not. This looks scarily real. I would have known if this fucking existed. Nice design. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you almost got me, though. You almost got me. You almost got me. At this point, I'm not even surprised about seeing passports I didn't know about. Because, you know, the proof is in this. But yeah, one more fun fact for you guys. I wonder if Native Americans have passports to go overseas. They're not technically American citizens. No, they kind of are. They kind of are. If they want to travel, they need to get a US passport. Like it's reservations are very complicated, right? It's a very complicated topic, but even though they have their own laws and their own land and jurisdiction, they, you know, technically speaking, they're still classified as a dependent. What was the term? Like a dependent, like not like a state, like part of the 50 states, but more like a vassal state. You know, they're a dependent territory. So while they don't comply to state laws, they comply to federal laws. So at the end of the day, if there's a major federal issue, it gets brought to the Supreme Court. It doesn't get brought to the Council of Chiefs, right? So there's a very big difference here. So if they want to travel, yes, they need to get a U.S. passport. That's and they have the right to. They have the right to. America can't usually touch the reservation. State laws can't. A sheriff can't. A police officer can't. But when it's a federal issue, when it's on the federal level, that's when the country can interfere, right? Because at the end of the day, the U.S., the way they view it legally speaking, is a dependent piece of territory, right? So it's part of the U.S. It just has its own. It's like an autonomous territory, right? It's an autonomous territory. It's kind of like Monaco in a way. Monaco has its own passport. They like to pretend they're independent, but at the end of the day, they're nothing more than just a vassal state of France. Okay. At some point after World War II, they tried to like pull this thing off where they were like, no, actually, we're our own country. We're not going to obey your rules anymore. And at the time, Charles de Gaulle, the president, just sent a bunch of soldiers to surround the borders of Monaco and was like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to talk or are you going to keep being a bitch? And they bowed down and sucked this cock. So this is why even today, you cannot go to Monaco for tax purposes if you're French. If you're British, if you're Spanish, whatever the fuck, it works. You can go there, you can live there, and you can be a tax resident. If you're French, you cannot be a Monaco tax resident. Even if you live there, even if you bought a house there, even if you have everything there, you can't. You still pay taxes to the French government, right? So that's a great sign that it's a vassal state. So where are the pink passport? You can't. There's like certain rules when it comes to like international passports. There's certain colors that you're not allowed to use, which is why a lot of them look very similar. So yeah. Not gonna lie, this conversation has me more engaged than the drama. Are we just gonna fucking turn into a passport channel? All right. One final fun fact for you guys. If you come from a country that used to be a colony of Spain, and that's a lot of countries, the Spanish love to colonize. And I mean, yes, even if you're Filipino, I know it's crazy. The thing with you is you have a crazy advantage with Spain, right? So typically, if you want to go to Spain and become a Spanish citizen, you need like what, fucking 10 years or something? And you need to learn the language and everything. Could be 5 years. Wait, I just want to make sure. Spanish naturalization time. Naturalization time, 10 years, or is it 5? Yes. 10 fucking years. You need to live in Spain before becoming a Spanish citizen. However, if you come from a country that used to be a Spanish colony and you live in Spain for 2 years, you can apply for a passport after 2 fucking years. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? That's wild, right? That's wild. Keep that in mind. The fuck is Swaziland? Oh, Eswatini. Eswatini. Why does it say service passport, though? They need to get an updated picture. Yeah. 2. Literally 2 years. It makes me fucking sick to my stomach how lucky you bastards are. Because the Spanish passport is one of the best on the planet. So, yeah. 5 is for refugees. That was a good guess, Bumblebee. But 5 is for refugees. 10 is for regular people. 5 is for refugees. And 2 is for anyone who comes from a country that used to be a colony. So Philippines, fucking whatever territories they had in South America. There's a list. Previous Spanish colonies, passport, fast track. Fast track, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so all these countries. So even Portugal. So yeah, Portugal, Monaco, of course, they want the money. The Philippines, Paraguay, Portugal, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Uruguay. Yeah. The only thing that might surprise people is Philippines, you know. But also, what is this right here? Equatorial Guinea. Wow. Damn. Wow. That's a tiny country. So that's the thing. That's the cool thing, right? So now the challenge is, if you're Filipino, you can't even go to Spain visa free. So that's the challenge. But if you can actually find your way there and somehow live there legally for 2 years, you go from a pretty mid passport to one of the best in the world. Crazy thing to benefit from. I've seen a lot of people that maybe have come from South America, went to the US illegally, made some money, got kicked out, got deported, or were illegal and didn't want to get deported. So they ended up finding a job in Spain because they had a CV from the US and just got citizenship there in 2 years, and their lives are so much better. So definitely interesting, right? There's a lot of things like that out there. A lot of things that you could be aware of that have to do with you. Yeah, and in Portugal, citizenship, they want to change the rules. Too many people moved there. Americans invaded Portugal. Okay, let's be fucking real here. They absolutely clusterfucked, bombarded the real estate market, especially in Lisbon. And yeah, there's way too many people moving there to get a second citizenship. Americans included. There's a lot of Americans now headed towards Europe and the rest of the world, like Southeast Asia, because they're legit calling themselves refugees because they don't agree with like the way the country's headed. So with these Americans comes a lot of money, and that money can really like tip the absolute balance of a country's economy. So yeah, Portugal was invaded by Americans. This much is known. Lisbon especially, it got absolutely invaded. Mexico too, to a certain extent, but they don't typically go to Mexico for a passport. They go to Portugal for that instead. So Spaniard here, a coker from Venezuela, just got her citizenship. She's been here 4 years and I think only took some time because of personal reasons. Yeah, but she technically can apply for 2 years. It doesn't mean that like after 24 months, you'll have the passport at your doorstep, but the process can start after 2 years instead of 10 years, which is crazy. It's insane. Yeah. I want to travel so badly, but Monopoly money is kind of trash right now. Are you Canadian? Asking for a friend, Canada to anywhere else, like anywhere in the, like to immigrate? Well, as a Canadian, you can go anywhere visa free, but you can't just live anywhere. That's the problem. But typically job markets like North America are maybe attractive for certain countries in the world, like for a job. But the problem is, if you want to move to somewhere like Europe, if it's not the UK or Ireland or anything like that, if it's not an English speaking European country, then your biggest obstacle is not going to be a job or money. It's going to be language. It's going to be language. That's the problem. A lot of Americans make that mistake. They go on like a 2-week vacation in Spain and they think, you know what, I can live here. And then they move and they hate their lives and they go back. It's integration, language, culture, et cetera, et cetera. Many people still make that mistake even today. This idea of a vacation being equal to real life. Yeah. Can confirm our Monopoly money sucks, but we speak French. Well, people in Quebec typically have a big advantage over being able to immigrate to Europe because of that. Even though your accent's going to get made fun of here, it's fine. Knowing French is a huge benefit. But yeah, did you say short stream, maybe 2 hours? Every time I say that, I get cursed, bro. You know? That's the thing. I'm traveling from Sweden to the States in a few months, and even though I don't need a visa, I still need an ESTA, and they have doubled the price on that shit compared to 3 years ago. Listen, bro. Just pay it. Listen, I know it sucks, but just pay it. Because the alternative is a visa, and you have to go to the consulate. You have to bring every document known to mankind. You have to bring your bank account, your job contract, your lease, your dick size, a couple of your pubes, all that, and get interviewed. Where are you going? Why? What are you going to do? Do you intend on coming back? Et cetera, et cetera. And I'm pretty sure the fee is like $500 for a tourist visa these days. So just pay it, bro. Just trust me. An ESTA is a blessing compared to that shit. So yeah, it's swear to God, I always come at a bad time when I first hear dick size. That's just very unfortunate, Zelvoff. That's just very unfortunate. You know, I played your the intro you made for me on Twitch last time. I can't play it here because of copyright, but I played that shit. It's still amazing as always. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this this interesting ass stream. Yeah, I'll be back within the next couple of weeks. I'll stream again, and definitely check out my Stacked page if you haven't yet. There's also a 1-hour video on passports here. Where's it at? I think it was the second one. Second one. Yeah, this one. Passport Ultra Autism Ultra Deluxe Edition Director's Cut version. It is 54 minutes. I talk about so much shit. I talk about things that you don't even think about, which are like country alliances, you know? So like, for example, Mercosur, like these countries right here. No, this is Mercosur RA. There's like, you know, a little agreement called Mercosur in South America that is kind of like the European Union. So if you're Argentinian, you can go live in like Uruguay without a visa, right? Like just permanently. Shit like that. So hey, if you're interested, check it out. If you don't have the money, it's completely fine. You will still see me talking about this shit on stream. It's completely fine. Put it on YouTube too, maybe eventually. See as I love. Maybe eventually. Maybe when my contract with Stacked at the end of the year ends, I'll upload a couple of these long videos on YouTube for members. Yeah, probably. Maybe. Yeah. And if you wanna get a healthy alternative to an energy drink, then make sure to go to gamersubs.gg and use the code Mugen for 10% off. This drop's pretty cool. Get Berry from your future Waffle House order, son, and use code Mugen. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Gip, seriously, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the support. You really don't have to. Okay. You better not drop a fucking 100 subs next stream. All right. See you guys next time. And don't forget Lube Life, Pixie. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Love you so much platonically. And hopefully, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be the next video. Either the next video or the one after that, but there's going to be, I'm definitely going to make an hour-long plus video soon. Yeah. Just waiting for the right topic. Not a lot of 1 hour worthy topics yet. All right. See ya.